With the sir's permission, we'll start. Good morning, everyone. Good to see a lot of people present here on a Sunday morning. Welcome to the annual general body meeting of Bangalore Apartments Federation. I still see some people coming bright and early on a Sunday morning. Hope all of you had breakfast, and because we have about 4 hours of concentration required and focus required, but good to see a good participation. Okay. My name is Vikram Rai. I'm the General Secretary of Bangalore Apartments Federation. So we'll get started just as a quick reference to the agenda of the day. I'm going to read it out quickly. We are at the welcome and introduction stage. We'll have a quick few minutes to do administrative updates. One is the adoption of minutes of the last AGM, which was held for last year, as well as a special general meeting, which was held on 13th August. Then we'll spend some time. The governing council team will take you through presentation of all the activities of the last year. That also constitutes the annual report. We'll take a brief break after that. That's expected to conclude by about 11:15, the first presentation. Then subsequently after the break, we will do the financial agenda, which is the presentation and adoption of audited accounts, the budget and annual membership fees, and appointment of auditor. That's roughly expected to take about an hour. And then we will probably tackle any other matters with the permission of the chair one step before, so that any questions, there are a couple of questions which have come from members, but any open questions, any discussions can also be done. And we also have, this time is the end of the term, and there's a new term being elected for the governing council and the executive council. So we'll have our returning officers join us and then take us through in the next hour on the election process. So, and then we'll conclude. Hopefully by 1:30 or so, we will conclude, and lunch we'll all have together as well. So without further ado, next. So there is a AGM website which has all the documentation which is being referred today. So please feel free to access this on your mobile as well. It's baf.org.in-AGM-2023, right? So you will find all documentation pertaining to the proceedings of today over there. It has been shared earlier as well, but just in case, some of the financial statements, etc., you might also have a copy because it's easier to read over there, but all the documentation is over there. Sir, you will do the address anyway conclusively. Okay, sure. Okay, can go to the next one. Yeah, so we had the last annual general body meeting on the last year, as well as then subsequently we had a special general meeting on 12th of August. Many of you were present over there for some of the amendments of the bylaws. So those minutes also have been shared in the website over there. I mean, this is a process step that we require for adoption of that. If we can have people's approval to say that those minutes, of course it's there over there as well, we can proceed as well. So do I have approval of people to adopt the minutes of the last AGM as well as the special general meeting? Yeah, okay. Okay, so I think we'll come quickly to the agenda of today, and the main part, the first main part of annual general body meeting is a summary of various activities that has been undertaken, various efforts that have been undertaken. So I would like to welcome our President, Shri Nagaraj Rao, to share his address to the audience.
Good morning, and all other honored members of the BAF, my colleagues from the field, and friends. We are having the 9th AGM today of the Bangalore Apartment Federation, and I welcome all of you to this great meet. At the outset, let me thank all of you for having given full support to me and my team to bring the organization to this level. My association with the BAF started with the rally in 2016 gathering thousands of people from different areas and support by many of you like Professor Lakshman in making this rally successful, forcing the government to withdraw its order of retrospective effect of the STP. This was the first success of BAF. Still, STP continues to be a vital event in almost all the apartments, and our problem with the STP is still at large. Now it has resulted in penalizing the RWAs, though efficiently supported technically and legally by my colleague Harish. We are approaching the Supreme Court on this particular issue. It has reached that stage now. Special applause to Harish. My heartfelt thanks to Vikram, the dynamic secretary, and all the members of the GC and the EC for the support given to me to lead this wonderful organization. It was a nice experience for me to handle the situation in RWAs, though I had ample experience in government and the World Bank activities as a senior bureaucrat. Needless to repeat, mentioning the support given by all of you. With the considered efforts put in by all of you, including the 3 members of the staff at the field level, we have brought up the strength of the organization, which was about 143 in 2017 to 1,200, almost 1,260 now. The credit goes to all of you, especially the workers at the cluster level and the field staff. The General Secretary and the team would explain all the details of achievements. I don't want to get into those details. But I should make some mention of some special efforts made on COVID control. You were all involved, and you did a wonderful job in controlling COVID. We worked with BBMP shoulder to shoulder. As a former national veterans champion, I was interested in sports, and I participated in cricket and badminton tournaments conducted in the Whitefield area and tennis tournament in Banshankari area. In fact, shortly, we would be entering into a partnership with one of the leading organizations. It's called KL Karo in Mumbai, who would organize training, coaches, and tournaments at various RWA levels in all apartments. To assist, I'm a senior citizen, I thought we should also concentrate on senior citizens. To assist senior citizens of the RWAs, we have brought in several health and social activities to keep them active, as otherwise they would feel lonely. One of the interesting programs is Vayo Manasa Sanjeevini from Nimans. It is especially for the aged people. And it also not only keeps them active with programs every week, but helps them in case of need in their ailments. Likewise, we have partnered with so many organizations. I don't want to go into details. Anyway, I was able to initiate the EV project, which is the need of the hour. I am aware of some of the serious issues like registration of RWAs, compliance in the areas of fire safety and CFO, which are being taken up at the government level. Even here, as a retired bureaucrat, I have been taking delegations to various heads of departments and civic bodies like BBMP, BESCOM, and the like, with the expectation of finding some solutions for these issues. We met the Honorable Union Minister for Finance on a couple of occasions and submitted our representation on the GST issue, which is a $5 now. Everybody wants something on the GST to be improved. In fact, with the change in the government in the state, we have associated ourselves with the apartment cell of the Congress party, who have taken it up with the government in getting a consultative committee to be formed at the highest level involving most of the departments concerned and the BAF to tackle all these issues. All of you must have gone through the interaction with the police commissioner recently, which was good enough to launch. I called it, he launched Mission Fraternity with BAF on the same day the Gaganyaan was launched. This would bring BAF and police closer. We also had discussions with the Director General of Fire Services, who has shown a lot of interest in our programs, especially the training of the estate managers in fire safety. One of the few challenges we face is lack of leadership at various levels, volunteering and engagement of members, especially in a few clusters, that too of late in the post-COVID era. In this context, I like to share my personal experience of 1984. You can imagine that was the year where I was working in charge of Kolar districts. Whether you call it leadership or humanity, I leave it to you. I was playing tennis in the Kolar along with the deputy commissioner and the chief of the medical officer, Dr. Giri Gowda, when one of my colleagues brought, he was bleeding, almost bleeding. He was brought in the jeep, and I could find that his left leg was almost severed, hanging with the skin. Immediately, we stopped tennis. I took Dr. Giri Gowda, went to the hospital. It was a little late in the evening, and the doctor said, the pulse is going off. I'm not very sure. What is it to be done? Blood. We started searching for the blood donors. We couldn't get many because it was a little late. There was a gang of about 25 of our paraphernalia along with me. Immediately I told Dr. Giri Gowda, you take the blood of all the people, test it. If it matches, we don't mind. Everybody came forward after I said that. The doctor took the samples, and out of 22, 7 agreed with the blood. It was including mine. I said, take my blood. Immediately, all the 7 gave the blood, and that person was saved. He's still alive with one leg. That's why I said leadership. I had never heard of the word leadership 40 years ago. Now only I'm getting the details. The other challenge I notice is the lack of conviction and commitment on the part of few members. We have to remember that this is a social service provided to the apartments. Every work that we try to do cannot be commercial oriented. Something has to be social also. And you would be one of the beneficiaries. Many express lack of time to spare for BAF. I have heard it through my years and years. In digital technology, I hear them saying, today is the digital world, instead of saying no time, they say lack of bandwidth. Time management is the answer. In one of the books I read that we spend 3 hours to look into a movie, but we don't have few minutes for our aged parents. One of the books I read. You have to make use of 24 hours given by God for the benefit of your own community and also do some social service. Remember, none of us is as strong as all of us. I like BAF very much as it is benefiting lakhs of residents. When I started working on that, I got into some passion mode into BAF. I have also even scripted a song on BAF. I think that will be played when you are having lunch. And having enjoyed my stay in BAF, I voluntarily decided to step down, providing better opportunities to the youngsters so that BAF could move faster like a jet. And I'm happy to hand over the reins to the committed team led by dynamic Vikram, the president-elect, so that the BAF is in safe hands. That was my intention. However, I'm available for any assistance of the kind. I congratulate the president-elect, Mr. Vikram, and his young team, and wishing them all the best. Somebody was asking a question. Are you the future president or ex-president? I have no answer. But I gave him a joke. Joke is, the lady comes out of the church after wedding with her newly married and introduces him to her friends outside the church. This is my future ex-husband. So, future ex-president, both are here. I never feel I have retired. Some people say I retired. No, I never feel I have retired. Government felt I have retired 27 years ago. They gave me superannuation, pension and all that, and they said, you can't deliver anything anymore. This happened 27 years ago, but immediately, within 3 days, I was picked up by the Agro Industries Corporation to work as a consultant. 1 year I was about to finish, the World Bank called me for a project in Madhya Pradesh for 2 years. So immediately I switched over to that place. On my return from Madhya Pradesh, once again Government of India called me with a project, to head the Export Promotion Council of IT. Export Promotion Council of IT, I don't know whether anybody remembers it. There is one organization heading, of course, with the headquarters in Delhi, but I was heading in Bangalore. This was a completely apt time, 2000 to 2003. And I organized some buyer-seller meet with various countries, and improved the marketing situation of IT. I very well remember to have advised a few students. Some students used to come and approach me at that time, 2002, I'm telling, approach me, sir, which sector of IT I should take? Then I said, artificial intelligence, not now. Now you're seeing artificial intelligence coming up. The need of that was, I was working as the president of the Operation Research Society of India, and Operation Research was a prelim for the Operation Research, artificial intelligence, and I recommended artificial intelligence and mobile applications. So, small question. I was working as a mediator for Japanese companies. Koko ni Nihongo o hanashi hito wa darede mo? Anybody who can understand Japanese? You must learn, IT companies must learn Japanese if you want to. I learned Japanese, not in the IT, but otherwise. So, you have to communicate with the people. A person in Chickpet, a small shop holding rice, he knows 4 languages. He transacts rice, knows 4 languages. I really appreciate the community Shettis who learn more than 1 language, normally, because they are businessmen. In business, you want to do, you have to learn more than 1 language. I just learned, because I visited Japan 5 times, I thought it was necessary, only not for conversation, but to introduce yourself and then talk to them and then find out what you want. Now, after handing over, I think I will concentrate more on yoga. I never feel I have retired. Shakespeare, in one of these dramas, says that valiant never dies but once. I have a few suggestions to make. Improve the visibility of the BAF in BA in various forms and organizations, and there is an absolute need for institutionalization of the BAF for better recognition. It has become a big institution. You should have a permanent structure for the federation with an exhibition and conference hall for the conduct of meetings and seminars. You have to involve experts to advise on water, energy, waste, etc., to support the RWAs. Involve ladies and gentlemen, ladies and women, to strengthen the Nari Shakti. I'll give you a small acronym in this regard. Why I'm so particular about ladies is, the word lady, L-A-D-Y, has a lad in it. The word woman has a man in it. The word female has a male in it. The word she has a he in it. And even while addressing gods, we say Sita Rama, Lakshmi Venkateshwara, something like that. And when you address a gathering like this, you say ladies and gentlemen. Never say gentlemen and ladies. So give some prominence to ladies. I'm happy that two of the new incoming GC are ladies. I would request them to take it up for a better communication at the grassroots level. Three. Oh, sorry. Involve members in the sports and cultural activities because we are slowly losing our tradition. I attended one of the cultural activities in city, E-City. Mr. Raman is there. I was very much delighted of the involvement of the people. It is only the tradition which brings all the residents together. MC, yes, meeting. And if you want to call the MC members, have a glass of whiskey, they will come. Women come only in festivals and traditions. Please continue keeping that traditions. Bring in, create awareness of ecology and develop a carbon credit system in BAF. Government of India has recently issued a circular, and also they have said methodology of water harvesting based on the green credit rules. I think this is going to take off very fast, green credit. Bring in projects to utilize the treated water from the STPs, a need of the hour. Contribute to the development of Bangalore city in transport and other allied sectors to make Bangalore a real smart city. These two are already on the anvil. We have attended a couple of meetings. Importantly, create an emergency response team, especially in the fire safety in apartments. This you should start with the apartments where the managers have been trained in fire safety. Taking BAF to higher levels of national and international standards for sharing our experiences and expertise with other stakeholders. I don't think India has a BAF-like organization which can give so much of information. You go to the website, you require 1.5 hours to go through the website, and by the end of it, you will be thoroughly knowledgeable about it. BAF has become, and I also suggest, a one-day brainstorming session with all the members of the GC on issues in the first half and action-oriented plans, solutions in the second to translate all the thoughts into action points. This would give a lot of support now. Now the institution has become quite big. It is very important to remember. It has become so big that you need some basic administrative support also. Remember the words of Bill Gates. Your unhappy customers are your greatest sources of learning. I repeat once again, your unhappy customers are your greatest sources of learning. Try to leave a system behind. I also remember, I always believed in leaving a system behind. I was in looking after one of the organizations called Silk Exchange, where the exchange of silk takes place. In 1988, remember, in 1988, I brought in online transactions. You can imagine, 1988, I am not an IT guy. I involved so many IT guys, so many secretaries of the government, including finance, and got it done, which the World Bank appreciated. They said, we want to see for an hour. They spent the whole day in Silk Exchange, in the organization. And beyond that, Government of India and World Bank considered me for a national award. Because that was the 1988, they considered me for a national award because I was doing this. Even today, the system is working well, sir. Some tips on health. Physical health means everybody thinks physical, mental, and spiritual. Physical, yes. Go to gym, run, walk, do something. Health, yes, I'm happy, I'm healthy. No. Physically you are healthy, mentally you are not healthy. So for mental, you require something else. That's my specifications of yoga. And spiritual, you need not be taught. It comes automatically. I conduct yoga classes, and I have visited a few apartments where I have already, I think, introduced yoga to some extent. Everybody is after yoga. Today, what is happening is, where did you go in the morning? Yoga. At least that realization has come, but it should be taught perfectly. If you feel that I am little energetic at 85, it is the blessings of God and parents, and it is my mindset, and mostly it is because of yoga. I quote here, aging means adding years to life. You keep on adding plus, plus, plus. But growth through yoga is adding life to years. You add life to years. Use your knowledge, not your ego, in the work. That's what I believe in. Many of you must have heard this sloka. That is, there are three Shaktis in a person: Vidya Shakti, Jnana Shakti, and Kriya Shakti. Vidya Shakti is your own studies. Jnana Shakti is acquiring knowledge. Kriya Shakti is what you do as the right. I remember saying, Mother Teresa, that you can quote hundreds of examples, but it's difficult to be one of them. Again, I want to change the monotony by giving a small interlude. Two doctors will be giving a lecture on birth control. One is youngster, second is middle-aged. Half an hour each, they give a lecture on birth control, and after they finish, one of the audience comes on the stage and says, Dr. A, how many children you have? He was youngster, he smiled and said no. The other doctor was middle-aged. Doctor, how many children you have? He also smiled and said 3. He looked at the audience and said, both of them are unfit to speak on birth control. The reason is, one has no birth, another has no control. I mean, you should exemplify yourself by involving yourself deep into the work when you want to do something like this. I was given an opportunity to address the gathering of eminent doctors, specialists, scientists, both national and international, in Nimans, where my lecture on healthy aging was very well appreciated. I have been advising many people on their health and have conducted a lot of yoga classes in apartments. Yoga is full of science, not spirituality, not mere spirituality. The scientific records of yoga indicate that the simple breath, what you breathe you're breathing now, the simple breath can avoid blocks, strokes, you can bring down diabetes, you can bring down BP, and even up to the bypass. This is not the forum to extend beyond. If you are interested, I'll come to your apartment and spend 1 hour on this. I can give you records. I conduct online sessions on pranayama and meditation regularly twice a week with an international audience coming from Netherlands, US, and Singapore, and Dubai. I'll be completing 333rd session next week. I'm doing it as a social service without any commercial expectations. Anybody can join the classes online. Now, I finished one book on yoga, on asanas, and I have written about 18 meditations, but I took up the second book on therapeutic asanas. I got a little involved in the BAF. Now I have time to complete that. Thank God, I need not look into 37 WhatsApp groups from tomorrow. I need not have to travel from Whitefield to Kengari, Yelahanka to Begur for meetings. and I can concentrate on my second book. But I like to be in touch with you all in my field of yoga, and I'll be there on a call to advise you, all of you, on yogic health. Let us work together for a cause, not for applause. Every person will have the two types of characters, good and bad. If you find anything good in me, take it. If you feel that something is bad, leave it to me. I'm purposely reading this speech because I do not want to take more time which I would have otherwise taken if it is extempore. I conclude my long speech thanking all of you for the support given to me and my team in bringing up BAF to this level, and I request all of you to continue the same with the new team. I wish the new team all the best in their efforts. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I think your model will be very tough to follow. Big shoes. I'll just leave you with a note saying that it perhaps might not be going from Kengeri to Whitefield, but since the last SGM we have updated saying that, the scope of membership can be beyond Bangalore, so maybe we'll look at Mysore, Bangalore or Belgaum to get your support to travel to, because I know you will travel anywhere, right? So that is not a limitation. But thank you, sir. We'll quickly now proceed with the next step. Yeah, so I'll take about another 10 minutes to give an overview of what are some of the key sort of trends, challenges, activities that we have transpired in the last 1 year. Of course, after that, I'll have colleagues from the governing council from different tracks who will also take you through a little bit of specific of different areas that work has happened. But having said that, allow me to cover a broad overview. Anyway, so as sir said, I think a couple of years back, COVID was a big disruption. So we are now coming out of that. Of course, it's now been a year where COVID has been completely back. So for all practical purposes, from a BAF activities purposes, we are fully now back physical. Most of the engagements have now started picked up to be more physical, etc. So feels good to be back. Feels good to have so many of you join us today in person. It's also great to see you all. Again, as sir said, we have grown in number. We are now nearly 1,250 communities across the city of Bangalore, with nearly 2.6 lakh households who have to date become part of the BAF community. So that growth has continued, but it also comes with its own challenges of the ability to engage with the wide section of members. So we also are seeing a trend of some bit of churn of members who don't renew, who don't continue, etc. Of course, Sundar will speak a little bit more of those numbers. But having said that, a larger organization comes with the greater impetus on how do you engage. Expectations of different members, different clusters, different parts of the city is very varied. We try as much as possible to create a universal format of engagement. Of course, there the clusters is a very important aspect of bringing a decentralized, very specific engagement philosophy. But having said that, I think engagement will be one big challenge. I'll come to that. As I mentioned, we have a decentralized engagement through almost 25 clusters now. And I must thank all the cluster presidents, secretaries, and the cluster council members. Many of you are over here who have taken a significant lead in engaging with members and creating almost like a chapter and version of BAF at every locality level. Going forward, we believe that that's the future of BAF, where every chapter, every cluster of BAF behaves very independently and with a great sense of ownership and participation. So we would like to look at the concept of clusters going forward. We have 25 clusters now. There are already, I think, about 3 or 4 clusters which are ready to have grown so much that we have to consider splitting them and creating more efficiency. So we will, I think, soon be from 25 to 30 clusters. So that engagement growth is happening as well. We have now started building more long-term partnerships and collaborations. So one of the focus in the last term, especially in the last year, was to look at the fact that while BAF is growing as number in the network, not everything that we want to do can be done by only us, cannot be only conceptualized us. So we are now engaging with more and more partners in the ecosystem, in the civic society, who come and work with us to bring in specific technical expertise, but then collaborate with us to take it to a wider audience. A couple of examples, all of you have known that, we worked with Beyond Carlton on the fire safety program for estate managers. That has been, I think, an instance of a good first annual program where 3 batches of estate managers training has happened. About 75 estate managers have been trained, including now the fire safety department. The new DG is extremely interested in supporting and collaborating that program. So that is one example of a good annualized program. And of course, you all know we have now instituted something called as BAF Hasiru to bring all environmental strategies and programs and campaigns under one integrated approach, because I think the realization is that the larger environmental policy as well as the action is well integrated, right? So you can't talk about water, energy, waste in separate silos. All of them have an interrelationship with each other. So we have started to take a very integrated approach towards overall environmental compliance, efficiency, etc. And that comes under BAF Hasiru. So we have done one workshop. I am sure there will be many more things which can happen over there. Of course, that again has a collaboration of partners. There are more partners who are coming and constantly, I mean, it is not like today we are going out and seeking partners, but there are so many of them who want to come and work with the BAF. A couple of notable mentions, I'll just leave you with that. Sir mentioned something which is happening on the sports front. We have IIM Bangalore who has come and has been talking to us to look at the management committee ecosystem itself, and they are very interested in creating a certification program for people who are MC members in apartments. So I think that's a good idea. We are trying to discuss and flesh that idea a little bit more. We have another organization called IAPMO, which is International Associations for Plumbing Manufacturers Organizations, who come and said they want to conduct a training program for plumbers of all apartment complexes. I think there are very meaningful associations and collaborations which are coming through. Next. Of course, the engagements and issue-based grievance redressal with various government departments, which we continue to do, has continued even further. So we engage with various civic agencies, BBMP, BESCOM, BWSSB, City Police. You would have recently seen an interaction which was organized by the team with the top brass of the City Police, where they had connected exclusively with member apartments. So more and more interactions with groups like that. Of course, departments, Law Department, Urban Development Department, registration and stamps. Some of my colleagues will speak more specifically on what kinds of engagements which have been done over there. Regulators, State Pollution Control Board, the Energy Regulatory Commission, KERC, Fire and Safety Department, the Electrical Inspectorate. Interactions continued. Of course, in all these areas, there are running grievances, there are running challenges, there are new issues, new problems which come up. Our realization is that that's an area which never stops and becomes 100% perfect. There is no happily living after as far as government agencies is concerned. But what we have to do is to create a constant sense of engagement, conversation and relationship with them, so that as and when there are grievances, it can be tackled actively, and at a greater level, policy issues can be preemptively worked with, right? For example, on the whole environmental wastewater treatment area, there's some active conversation going on with the State Pollution Control Board as well as the Environment and Ecology Department on what kinds of policies can be encouraged for, say, something like treated water reuse, which many apartments today have a challenge with as to how to deal with. So I think government interactions will continue and will continue to be a strength for BAF. We have built a lot on what we have done earlier. Today we have a very strong, at least I can say, access and recognition in the government. We'll have to build more on that to say that, how can we get time-bound outcomes, time-bound action from government departments is something where we have to work a little bit more on, build some strategy there on, right? Okay. Yes. Apparently there was a sudden intervention to say the government has censored this, basically. Okay. As it comes up, I'll just briefly highlight on that point, the next point, which talks about, I think, our while we do the engagement and activity and sort of influence and lobby with the government, there are certain issues where we also take a very strong stand on and then need to alternatively tackle it. So legal is one step in that direction. There have been a couple of areas where BAF has been taking up legal action as far as issues are concerned. One of them is our environmental policy side, famously known as the STP issue. So many of you who are amongst the membership know that there has been a long-standing conversation and fight which is going on as far as the popularly known as STP issue, but it is much more nuanced and diverse than that. There's a lot of environmental policy, regulatory play in that. We had gone up to the NGT. There was an appeal that we had filed in the infamous Belandur Lake pollution case, which had implications on a lot of apartments in that KC Valley area, which had resulted in environmental charges being slapped on people who are running STPs. The NGT dismissed that appeal, but they have referred us back to go to the Supreme Court. So we are at the cusp of now, I think in another week or two, our appeal in the Supreme Court will be filed. We are hoping that at a policy level, what we believe are the historical excesses and mistakes which have happened in terms of interpreting the Belandur Lake pollution case and having applied environmental compensation charges on a lot of people who are not who have not the reason for that larger systemic rot, can be tackled with this SC appeal. But having said that, I think we are at the cusp of now reaching the doors of Supreme Court for a fresh appeal, and there will be some more details which will come in the days to come. There is also a case, a historical case on BWSSB water tariff charges, which in 2013 had resulted in the formation of BAF. That finally came up for hearing. The High Court at this point of time has again rejected that writ petition, but they have told that you can refile that immediately with reference to a new notification which has come in 2016. So our legal fights and our legal processes will continue independently on some of the largest systemic policy level changes. Of course, my colleagues will speak about it. I spoke about BAF Hasuru. We believe that that's a fairly far-reaching sort of future vision program where we are talking about bringing environmental consciousness amongst apartment residents as a thing which translates to action beyond compliance. Compliance, yes, will happen as a part of it, basically, right? But we are looking at creating an ecosystem where for apartments to practice safe and effective environmental practices is also efficient in terms of their own maintenance cost, etc. So that is the approach that we are taking. So await a lot more details on how BAF Hasiru will evolve into a multi-pronged program. My request is that, as much as possible, please do engage, involve whenever possible, because that will have material impact on your maintenance cost. That's what I can tell you, because we are bringing a lot of expertise to say that how practicing better environmental programs and systems in your building will create much more efficiencies in your own building. You all know, next. That prior to the last assembly elections, we had a campaign called Every Vote Matters. That was a definitive next step that we took in terms of creating a very clear formal expectation of the political class on the needs and demands of the apartment residents. As a part of that, you would remember that we had created something called as an apartment residents charter, which had a comprehensive compilation of the various issues, concerns, challenges and recommendations from the apartment resident community to the entire political class. You might also remember that in this very hall, some of you might have participated. We kickstarted that campaign by having a open town hall where all the major political parties, senior leadership had participated. And that was a process of getting them to know these issues specifically. And that resulted prior to the election in at least the two principal parties, including many of those points in their manifesto. So I think that is I think it's a moment of some degree of accomplishments to say that, if political parties are willing to carry demands in the manifesto, that is one step to hit. So I think that was one significant achievement, to have brought both the political parties to put the points in the manifesto. And of course now the real work of actually holding them accountable to executing some of those promises and commitments is the bigger task. It is probably easier to get them to put it into the manifesto, but tougher to then get them to act. But having said that, they are formally on record of having noted some of these points. So I think to create that strategy of political engagement where the overall apartment community's demands is considered as genuine, and there is some priority interest by the government of the day and as well as all the other opposition parties to support the demands, still continues, right? So that was one update. Again, coming back to, I think there are two critical issues which are still top of the heap priority. Most of the concerns, queries and challenges and inquiries from members come on roughly these two issues from a large scale issue point of view. One is what is popularly known as the KOA issue. I mean, everybody keeps talking about what should we register under, how is my land conveyed, etc., and all that kind of stuff. That's a big category of issues. I'm just conveniently referring to it as the KOA issue. It is still obviously unresolved. It is not an easy issue to resolve because it has historical multi-department, multi-policy implications, and it has historical rootedness in why the system does not want to change. But having said that, I think we have come to the extent of a stage where the government has committed that there will be a consultative committee which will be formed. Most likely BAF will be a part of it as well, including multiple departments of the government. So we are awaiting the announcement any time now that committee will be constituted. Hopefully with that committee being constituted, there will be a more holistic overview of what are the gaps, challenges, etc. in that issue of property ownership and apartment group of owners running and managing that property, association management. Hopefully, I think that will pave the way for a lot more reforms and rules, regulations to be formed, competent authorities to be appointed, whatever the action might be. But that's the first step that we are pushing and lobbying very hard for, that this committee should come into existence immediately. I mean, almost about 3 months back at a meeting with the Deputy Chief Minister, he had committed and approved formation of that. Of course, we have to put constant efforts in getting their attention to this commitment being a priority as well, right? So the other thing is, of course, as you all know, it's called the STP issue itself. Like I updated, there is an SC appeal which is going there, which is a legal action. But having said that, to ensure that the members do not have any ongoing day-to-day excesses, notice giving, etc., we have managed to engage with the regulators, pollution control board, etc., to make sure that some of the implications of that confusion in that ecosystem is not felt on a day-to-day basis. Of course, there are many of you who still have the challenge with the CFO approval without paying that environmental charges, cost, etc. But having said that, there is, practical support that we can provide. But the bigger issue over there is still being fought out both in the court as well as in the administrative layer. Finally, I think just to conclude my few minutes, see, as Sir mentioned, we have grown in numbers, which is a good thing. We are now, like I said, nearly 1,250 communities which have to date been part of the BAF ecosystem, continue to be a part of the BAF ecosystem as members, and sometimes people who wish to discontinue, but there are many people who come back again, etc. So that's an ongoing process, but I like to call that there are 1,250 communities which are associated with BAF. The biggest challenge today is in how can we bring more and more engagement with a variety of expectations, a diversity of challenges, concerns, queries, and a general ecosystem in each of these communities where people are not wanting to participate in their own communities. That's the general feeling that I get, that in many of the communities, people are not wanting to be part of management committees, people are not wanting to be part of affording some time to the community development, etc. As Sir said, right? No bandwidth, no, I'm busy with this, etc. So our residential ecosystem, I think, continues to be slightly detached to the affairs of administratively running the community. So I think together all of us need to, and this also affects up the filter on how it impacts on finding more and more leadership and engagement at BAF also, right? I'm very happy that so many of you have turned up today, which is a good sign of probably things to come. But this is an issue that we all have to put our heads together, and I'm sure there will be cluster leaders, cluster council members, etc., who will be able to give suggestions and inputs on how can we build more and more engagement and participation, not just at committee member level, but an average resident level. At least my, if we have to put a North Star metric to what we should be aspiring to do, at least 50-60% of an average resident of a BAF community should know BAF and should be connected and engaged with BAF in some way or the other, right? I think that should be the goal, at a minimum goal that we should be working on. But having said that, that requires a lot more inputs, efforts and ideas from everybody. So without much ado, once again, thank you, sir, for your words of advice. I will now hand over. I'm done. As you all know, I think our governing council is divided into 5 tracks: technical advisory, legal and statutory, finance and taxation, membership and engagement, community citizenship and collaborations, led by teams of my colleagues from the governing council. Next slide. And we also have, as I mentioned, 25 clusters listed over here, each cluster being anywhere between 30-40 member apartments to almost up to some of the clusters are 80-90 apartments, ably led by a cluster president, cluster secretary and a bunch of cluster council members. That's the decentralized structure. Once again, thanks to all of them who have contributed to growth. Yeah, so we'll have now each of our track teams quickly sharing summaries. I would request them, in the interest of time, not to take any more than a maximum of 10 minutes each, because we are under strict constraint of time. Starting with the technical advisory team, would like to welcome Luke is not in the country. It's led by our Vice President Luke Dhanraj and Satish and Pradeep. Over to you guys.
Thank you, Vikram. My name is Pradeep Pai. I am part of technical advisory group, and with me is Satish.
Yeah, I'm Satish Malya, Joint Secretary, and I'm part of the technical advice. I think we'll run through the presentation, what we supposed to do last 2 years, and what we have done, and what we have achieved. I think Pradeep will start with the thing, and
So when we started this work, I felt that if there is a reason for members to continue with Bangalore Apartment Federation, this group has to work very well. I'm hoping that a lot of people who are here have probably continued to remain because of some of the work that this group has done. So we kind of looked at engaging with regarding water conservation, energy, waste and safety part of it. We put in some effort in energy and water. It also helped us connect with many government officials. One of the things that I personally realized was that somehow both of us are afraid of the other. In fact, when my own apartment had to renew its lift license, we kept telling the vendor to do it yourself, help us do it yourself. But he put his foot down and said, I won't. So finally we had to go and do it. And it was so easy, I'm really surprised. And after that, I kind of helped many people to get it done with almost no cost beyond what is structured. And yeah, so can we go to the next slide? Yeah. So the comment that I made in terms of how we reached out, so we had this opportunity, and Nagaraj Rao sir helmed this effort of meeting Mr. Apachu, who was the Chief Electrical Inspector. And initially we had our own diffidence. We thought it may not work because we generally have this feeling that, the government people don't respond to us. With a little bit of, resistance, we slowly met and worked our way out, and subsequently it worked out quite easily. He connected us with some of his team members who have been very supportive. So I would like to think that not only are they capable of working with, we probably need to stop this fear of thinking that they are always there to make some money. I'm sure if we allow them, they will. But if it's possible for us to stand our ground, many of them are probably apartment dwellers too, so they tend to understand what is going on. And if we stand our ground, I think we can do it, which is the same conviction that I have with many of you who've been having trouble with fire NOCs. So we should work on it together, but we'll come back to that. One of the things that I think Satish's effort has paid off is that the solar power generation, we had a maximum of 50 kilowatts for an LT transmission meter. So after relentless pursuit, that has got moved to up to 150 kilowatts. I think he really deserves some accolades for that, because there is possibility, and sunlight is free, and we're not able to put it up just because there's a need for some rule to be changed. But it did work out, and that was another surprising interaction that we had with the BESCOM and its people. One other thing it gave me a good feel was to represent BAF at the KERC hearing, where they were intending to implement something called the grid support charges. For no reason at all, just because we have a solar power panel, for every unit they wanted to charge some 26 paisa. We represented that, saying that the entire infrastructure has been installed by members, and therefore it doesn't make sense for anyone to charge on it. They decided that they will, revoke that. Yep. We had this interaction with Sri Kamal Pant, who is the DGP of Fire. In fact, our intention was to ask him to make things much easier and help us with some of those rules which we found fairly impractical, in terms of 40% of the residents being trained for fire and things like that. I'm not sure if we really did much on that, but nevertheless, what we could make out was there is a heavy reliance on the online system, and they are fairly understaffed, because of which they are also struggling, and in some sense we are also likely to struggle. But I think there is some way out of it. Some of you, before we met here, did want us to put out some kind of a white paper. Yes, we should do that. There has been adequate communication, but the number of channels being too many, it's possible that message has got hidden somewhere. But nevertheless, I would like to urge all of you and help other people who are not here to use the BAF app for all these purposes, because that's where we keep putting all these things. It will become more and more. And like Nagaraja Rao sir said, it will probably be much more than 1.5 hours in times to come to look at the entire website. One last point on this slide is we've been having a lot of friction in having cluster meetings. An interesting experiment that Whitefield did was to have multi-cluster interaction, brought in people from BESCOM and BWSSB, if I recall right. No, I think it's BESCOM only, where they came in and shared what are the ways in which they are willing to help residents install solar power and EV and things like that. There are a lot of misconceptions sometimes we tend to build, which they effectively nullified, and they helped us to understand what is possible. So I think that's going to be an interesting format which we may want to try, having themes as well as multi-cluster meetings, so that as many people who can participate will benefit out of that. Yes, Satish.
Yeah, we also organize the interactive section with Groundwater Authority of Karnataka. This is one of the best steps we have taken, because there was a lot of doubt among our members about borewell and borewell approval and NOC and other things. So this was a online session, and this will continue. They are agreed to do every 6 months. I think we'll go forward and I'll have more interaction with the Groundwater Authority of India. The second thing is regarding the RWH. So RWH, we have an ongoing training program with BWSSP and KSCT. So this is again an ongoing program, and anybody can attend this from our members. As and when it happens, we'll be informing you. The third one is we are also collaborated with Pollution Control Board for the Ganesha festival, for clay Ganesha. So these are the ongoing program where we are interacting with them, we are collaborating with them, not like other side we are fighting with them. So this is a good sign of we collaborating with all government agencies. These are the, whether it's a Groundwater Authority, BWSSB and Pollution Control Board. And other environment program what we are doing now is for the Hasiru. See, the STP treated water is a good resource for us. I think we are not utilizing it well. We are just throwing this on the drain. So what we are trying to do here is we trying to push some policy changes for the use of treated water. So in this context, I think we met Principal Secretary, and he also made a field visit to apartments and parks and other things to understand our problem. And that is the way we are going forward for the treated used water. We have also done initiative for publishing of white papers on lift licenses. I think is available. And all this initiative, what we have done is we are proposing all the members that go for online application, don't go for offline. And in this lift license also, they say now Sakala, after our initiative, Sakala is there. Within 60 days, they have to give license or they have to reject it. So please go online application for the lift license. Second one is groundwater, again, is online now, and it's not much happened on that front because they are very slow. As department people are not there. But this is going to come one day for getting NOC. I think you should be prepared for getting NOC from Groundwater Authority for borewells. Third thing is CFO process. White paper is there in the website, and again, we are suggesting you to apply online only. And of course, there is a delay in getting a CFO, but there are members here who's applied online, not paid any money, just paid fees, and got their CFO done. So I think we should encourage everybody to apply only online on here also on this thing. So there's a white paper available. And I was talking about the treated water reuse. So we also a partner with Well Labs to do the research. In 2021, we done a pilot project in Yelanka, taking 20 apartments and taking this water to nearby BBMP parks. So this we want to scale it up to other clusters. So for that, we are partnered with Well Labs, and in coming months and years, we'll be doing this study, and one by one, all the apartment can supply this water. So Hasiru is a brand we are creating to taking care of this water, electricity, and waste management. So everything we are going to bring it to one platform so that you can talk about efficiency there, how to improve that on that, and compliance and the other parts of this thing. And we have done this retrofit one event in September. I think some of you has attended it. And coming back to brand Bangalore, I think two of us, Arun and myself, is part of the expert committee on Clean Bangalore and Green Bangalore. I think this is one of the things where BAF is able to give a lot of suggestion to the government saying that this is what required, and they realize it. We have a lot of knowledge in running this activity in our apartments, so they made us experts. So myself and Arun is in part of that expert committee. And some of the visuals I can share you, like a meeting with fire safety, ARC chairman. This is one of the things where the principal secretary, environment, has visited the apartments and the parks in different part of North Bangalore. This is one of the things we conducted in Whitefield cluster meeting, where the DGM from EV, from the solar, and plus the operational side, everything they came to our cluster meeting and explained about the policy matters and other things. And this is a retrofit event workshop what we conducted. So, of course, this is from the, I think, the brand Bangalore discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would invite people who have interest in these areas to be in touch with us so that your experience can be included and we can engage with the government as well as our own members much better in future so that everybody's problems can be much better solved. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Harish Shivaraman. I am part of this legal and statutory track.
Hi all, good morning. This is Dheeraj and I'm Joint Secretary, Legal and Statutory Track. Nice to having you here. Over next 10 minutes or so, we will be updating you the pursuits that we have been striving upon and what's the way forward. So, yeah, looking forward.
It's okay. I'll do it. So our team was comprising of Sri Shankar, our start from our Shankar Swaminathan, our former Vice President, Joint Secretary Dheeraj Gupta, myself, and a number of other cluster leaders. Like Satish Menon of President Pina Dasarahalli cluster, and Vinay Tyagarajan from Malleshwaram cluster, Uma Mani from HSR, Valli Madam from Bellandur, and I think I'm not forgetting any names, and number of others who contributed effectively, and they had a very valuable contribution to this track, activities of this overall track. So our main agenda or our main purpose of this track was to push for improvements in the total legal framework that affects apartment. And another is actually that represent our members on cases where that our members affected directly, or we have an interest, a common interest as a fraternity of apartments, right? So these are the two main objectives that we have. In addition to that, of course, advise governing council and other track teams regarding the legal and statutory part of their activities. So. And we are fortunate to participate in some of the key objectives or key tasks BAF has taken up in the last 10 years of its existence. Right from 2014, the BAF started, with a group of people challenging the BWSSB notification as, making apartment as a bulk category consumer, right? So that was a start where the group of people from Malleshwaram and other places, came together and established this, a small group called BAF in 2014. Thereafter, after that retrospective order, STP order from Karnataka government, that was a big, what you call reborn for that BAF, where actually almost 10,000 of you stood in the street, protesting that, order, retrospective order of Karnataka government. Thereafter, that again, that part continued in another form, in the form of Bellandur Lake fire and subsequent NGT actions, and it keep continuing even now. And of course, as a apartments federation, the legal part, the legal framework of what is called apartment. So that continues to be the focus of this track. So these are the main focus area. This have been the main focus area for us for these last 2 years. So we, as an activities, we brought amendments to that BAF bylaws, which is actually, we were practicing it as a cluster, as a core, what do you call, core team, right? And governing council supervising the clusters. But actually it was not codified, or it was not included in the bylaw. As per the bylaw, it was governing council was the only statutory body, and the clusters was subgroups. Clusters and executive council was subgroups formed by the governing council. So we had an opportunity to go through the entire organizational process, what we are practicing, what is there in the bylaw, and we could put some process and institutionalize the entire organizational structure that we were practicing, and now it is properly codified. I'm happy that there are so many people came forward for the governing council and executive council. I'm looking forward for for much more matured and much more matured BAF. Who can, directly involve that each and every apartment residents for, the causes that we stand for. So another activity, of course, that as I told, the property ownership and issues, that is actually that comes under that larger framework, legal framework of what is called the apartment, the system of apartment, so that we continue to bring some thought process to that government, and also we had an opportunity to declare what is called the now official stand of BAF. So we have published one white paper, and also we have through our representations to all that government concerned government department and authorities like Inspector General of Registration and Stamps, Law Secretary, UDD, Additional Chief Secretary in charge of UDD. So all these authorities we could meet, we could explain, we could give the representation and convey what we we stand for, and what is our thoughts, and what should be, what is called the apartment system should be, right? So, and we had, as a member support initiatives, we had several issues like coming up as part of the KSPCBs and NGT plus KSPCB, related to Bellandur Lake issue. So that anyway, that we have to struggle through this. There are multiple points in that. One is actually we have to keep the status quo. We have to, while challenging that entire orders of the NGT imposing environmental compensation charges, which is range from 5 lakhs to 7 crores, right? So it varies in that wide range. So while we challenging that environmental compensation charges, retrospective STP implementation, and also that polluter tag. While challenging all those things, we have to maintain that, engage with the government, and make sure that our members are protected for that in the interim, and there is no huge coercive action should not take place. So these are the efforts actually we have done. We ourselves engaged with the KSPCB and also given many representations while fighting the NGT also. We have twice we went to NGT, one with interlocutory application as a applicant in that NGT process, and also for the review of the main order, and again to the Supreme Court. So these are the different forums, that judicial forums we explored in this case. In addition to that, we supported our members, for various cases, like they were having issue with the CFO, withholding because of that they are not paying the environmental compensation charges. Some people have got a rejection of their, what is called the consent applications, and an analysis demand for analysis charges. So we could support them with a draft reply, and some cases we in addition to the given the draft reply, we also could support them in that engage with the KSPCB and make sure that nothing coercive happens. Of course, I know that there are several CFOs are pending, but at this stage, even though they could, KSPCB also agree that until we exhaust our legal options, they are not going to enforce any coercive measures. Other than keeping that CFO, withholding the CFO and other things. So these are the main activities we concluded, and also that there are many reports you might have seen, press articles and other things regarding that associations, right? So several I have seen last 2 years, I think every month at least 2 or 3 associations going to that court and getting a adverse verdict, whoever registered under KSRA, right? So many of them had issues like whoever the petitioner, one of the apartment member, that go to the court and get a favorable order that KSRA is not, legal association, then goes to registrar that, this association is, acting illegally, then goes to the bank, freeze the bank account. So there is a web of things, happening, and there are, there are many activist groups which contribute to all these, confusions. But we could manage the things at present, and and advise them properly how to go about and help them out of this crisis. That a few instances came to our notice. Yeah. So these are the nothing else. Yes, so that is some of our the whole activities, and Dheeraj, you want to add
I
anything?
mean, I'll just add to the next slide. Go to the next slide. Yeah, I will. So I'll just read through, a couple of knowledge initiatives and publications that we did to. Is that audible now? Now fine? Yeah, so we have contributed immensely to our knowledge base and publications. So I'll just read through a few of important articles and knowledge papers that we have published. So a white paper on apartment associations, ownership and management. We have also rolled out a process to apply Khata, online and get it done seamlessly with collaboration with BBMP. Mediation, so we have also sort of collaborated with CAMP, that's Center of Advanced Mediation Practice, to build awareness and support use of mediations and arbitration in areas of conflicts. Next slide. So yeah, so in terms of key government representations and submissions, there have been series of representations submitted to government and civic authorities. So be it Additional Chief Secretary, Urban Development Department, UDD, on issues regarding legal framework of apartment seeking remedial actions. And also representations to Law Secretary, Government of Karnataka, on issues regarding legal framework of apartment seeking remedial actions. We have also represented to IGR, Inspector General of Registrations, on issues regarding regulations of conveyance of apartment seeking remedial actions. Representations to former Deputy CM, Dr. Ashwath Narayan, on issues regarding legal framework of apartment seeking remedial action. So a lot has been done, set into motion. A lot needs to be done, and looking forward for working closely and together going forward. So yeah, so that's all from our side, legal and statutory track for this year. Anything else, Harish, you want to add?
No, nothing. Thank you, all people who contributed to the thought process of this track, and also the members who understood that our complexity of the issues. Understand, the issues like Bangalore Lake, issue that NGT has taken up, and the actions and legal complexities. It won't die down in a quick time. It will take its own time actually. But the thing is, what I can ensure you is actually BAF continue to fight, even that whatever we have initiated right from 2014, we have not given up. We are continued to fight in the be in the High Court, be in the NGT, be in the Supreme Court, and we may not, you may not be knowing what is that happening, time to time. But of course, I understand that there is a communication gap. But what I can assure you is actually that BAF is actually fighting your case on behalf of you. Because of that, mainly that KSPCB and other people, regulatory bodies are not coming after you the way they're supposed to, right? So be assured and be supportive of BAF, and keep involved involved in these activities, so that we can strengthen this organization more and more to protect our interest, and also to bring a justifiable framework for apartment as a whole. Thank you. It's a consent for operation. It's like a license which is granted by the KSPCB, Karnataka Pollution Control Board, under the Water Act. I'll take it up separately. I'll speak to you separately. Yeah. Thank you.
Q&A. We'll come to that. We have. No. We'll finish the two. No, he will. Sundar, can I request you to cover your part when the accounts, everything comes together, because you have almost an hour slot. So I'll request team track 4 to continue and take it up. You have Arun as well, Arun and Upender. You can get started.
Good morning, everybody. So let us walk you through what we did for the track 4. Before we do that, let me introduce the governing council members who were part of the team. So Mr. Arun Kumarji, he is also the founding member, or one of the founding members of BAF. We have worked a lot and achieved a lot under his leadership. Our team also comprised of Mr. Ajay Mehrotra. Unfortunately, because of some family commitment, he couldn't be here. In capacity of Vice President, he has also guided this track a lot. And I am Upender Singh, in capacity of Joint Secretary. I have been part of the team as well. So a couple of years back, when we took on this track, we were given certain objectives. So objectives were very clear, that we need to increase our member base, number one. Number two, we need to see how effectively we can engage whatever membership we have, how we can reach out to them, how we can provide value to them. That was one of our objectives. At the same time, the entire BAF, concept of BAF is based on how good citizen leaderships we have. So that was also one of our objectives, that how do we groom, identify and develop the leadership at all levels, be it cluster, zonal or governing council. That was one of it. One of the major objectives given to us was how do we utilize technology and leverage the capabilities to make our work easier. So entire technical capability enhancement, procurement, everything was part of that, including social media. And of course, now the scope of our work was down to the cluster level. So any events, any campaigns which happen in BAF, one of our responsibilities was also to ensure that the messages get trickled down and the events are being participated by maximum number of people. So these were briefly the objectives given to us. Now I'll request Mr. Arun Kumar to walk us through how we did in terms of gaining new members. Arun.
Yeah. At this time, we stand at 1245, a whopping 1245 apartment complex.
You'll have to still use the mic because otherwise
Oh,
it's not
okay.
recorded.
Sorry. Yeah. So we.
You can take it out.
I can take it out? Okay, great. So we've grown to 1245 members across Greater Bangalore, and that is phenomenal. This is the number as of yesterday, and in terms of number of homes, we are 261,872 homes across Bangalore, and this represents about 1,050,000 residents, a ballpark for people per family. So, please also remember that we are making an impact not only on our own members and residents, we are also making a lot of impact on stakeholders around it, whether it is your housekeeping staff or security. You look after a lot of their welfare also in terms of financially, of course, support them through their own compensation, but also a lot of things that you do in your apartment complexes, they are able to take back and implement in their own communities. So we are a huge organization. I think pan India, we are probably the largest such network. So please, and this round of applause is all to all of yourselves who have all been influencing new members to come and join the BAF fold. At this time, it is important for me to recognize Arun Mohan, please come to the stage, Arun. Rama, please come to the stage. KCV is gone missing, please come onto the stage. Arun Mohan and KCV together have been going length and breadth of Bangalore and getting in members. And some of you might have met him or KCV, or your predecessors who brought you into the membership would have met them. So they have gone length and breadth of Bangalore to bring all members together. Rama has been instrumental in coordinating all the activities for members in terms of resolution of various questions, issues, and matters of concerns also. She takes the input from the members and suitably distributes it across the key leadership and makes sure that the members get the right answer and a timely answer. And the best quality answer. Thank you to both of you. We are missing K.C. Veeraraghavan here. He will come sometime soon. He was here. He'll come back sometime. Okay. So well done, both of you. So over the past 2 years, the new membership itself, was very manual, but we have done a lot of automation towards that. That has helped. And post-COVID, a lot of outreach is also happening digitally, online, Zoom calls, etc. So please continue as leaders to be engaged to identify any other prospect members who are not yet members of BAF, to bring them on board to BAF. And this team is available to support them, getting them onboarded. We have also done one very interesting thing called an induction program. We take it for granted that everyone knows BAF, but that we realize is not the case. Many of you have become new MC members in your own community. There are so many others who become new members of MCs, but are unfamiliar with BAF and the kind of work that BAF is doing and the kind of support BAF can provide in their day-to-day administration and dealing with various challenges. I do an induction program every month. So far, we've done about 15 sessions, each of them having anywhere between 35 to 50 people attending and learning about BAF and just getting awestruck and awed about what all BAF is doing. I'm sure, all the presentations so far, a lot of it is new information for you. Many times we just presume that you know everything, but all of it is available on our website, on our app. But just the fact that getting the entire network clued on in greater detail about what is BAF doing was part of the presentation today. But we do a synopsis every single month for all new members or changed MC members also. So that is an important initiative that has happened. Yeah, I'll give this back to Upendra.
Thank you, Arunji. That was wonderful. And before I move on, let me put this remarks that when I joined BAF, the membership was in 3 digits. So taking it to 1,000 plus, Arun Kumarji has played a really big role. So thank you, Mr. Arun. Now, when it comes to engaging our existing members, the backbone is how effectively we conduct the cluster meetings. And I want to thank all the cluster presidents, secretaries, and the cluster councils who have been organizing the cluster meeting. And after COVID, We did have some fatigue due to the COVID, but we actually covered that. So for easy reference, I can say the number of clusters meeting which we had in the last 2 years, every 2 weeks, at least one cluster meeting was happening. So I would say that's a very healthy number, but as usual from our targets which we actually envisioned, it would have been more. So I'm sure going forward we will have more and more meetings with our apartment members. But yeah, good job all the cluster councils on that part. New cluster leaders onboarding also went well. Though we didn't see much of a traction in getting new leaders, but whatever leaders we got at the cluster council levels, I think the performance was okay. But this is also one area which our new elected governing council or executive council has to look into, that we have to get more and more leaders, not just the quantity but also the quality, because that's what is actually driving the BAF forward. We have tried our best, but we want to see more and more improvement in that area also. One of the major initiatives which we undertook, which Arun Kumarji also mentioned, was that we validated our member database. I think this was something which was lacking, because most of the MCs had changed in the last 2 years, and we only relied on the good offices of the outgoing MCs to tell us whether somebody is changing or not. One of the impacts what we had was that we were not sure the people whom we are communicating with are the right people. So there is again a big initiative that underwent in that sphere in the last 2 months, and we are able to validate major chunk of it. I think it's closing 900 members out of 1200. We know who are the right MC members, and I want to thank everybody who was involved in it. Similarly, there was one more activity which was taken on, which was based on the new BBMP ward mapping which was issued. We also had to redraw our cluster boundaries. So whatever member apartments we had, that had to be tagged to the new wards, and based on which new clusters orientation would be done. This was also a major exercise which was completed. And very soon we will be actually officially announcing the new cluster boundaries, and also based on the new bylaws what membership dimensions go with it. So in this part I want to specially thank Mr. Mohan Kumar, who is sitting here, who has done actually a lot of work in it. This work involved lot of number crunching, lot of painstaking hours to do, but thanks Mohan, you have done it, and we will very soon implement it now. As I mentioned, one of our key focus was how do we leverage technology to do our work. Now you all know BAF Connect app is pretty much in place. It is being used by many of our members, and the general feedback is that it's very good. I request more and more people to download the app and use it, because that is that we want that to be a primary source of communication. Lot of things are there. So more and more enhancements were done on that also. New modules got added. Please download it if you haven't done it. Go through it. It's very informative. Similarly, internally, we had our accounting systems also changed from QuickBooks to Zoho Books. And as Arunji mentioned at the start, that we have leveraged technologies to automate a lot of members onboarding and renewal processes. So that integration was also done by this track. Similarly, we tried to move to Telegram a year back, and then again moved back to WhatsApp. I won't repeat why we did that, but based on the majority of members, how they wanted, we have moved back to WhatsApp. But while doing that, we also leveraged the opportunity to create some kind of basic policies of how should we communicate. Because having so many 5,000 odd people on 25 different clusters right now, we need to follow some kind of discipline, and these policies were issued. Please go through them. It should be somewhere that what are do's and don'ts of the messaging channel. So that was also done. We also increased our presence digitally, because in this today's world, physical is one thing, digital is taking more space now. And we have also done a lot of work in that. We have very good presence on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, All our meetings are being released on YouTube. So digital presence is pretty much there. One of the tweets done by Madam Kiran Majumdar Shawji regarding the Grey to Green initiative was viral, and as I saw last time, it had 30,000 views. It was all tagged to BAF, and many influencing personalities in Bangalore saw it. That gave us a very good visibility of what BAF is. So those are the kind of digital presence we did. Of course, more to be done on that. Work never ends. While doing this, we had to partner with some technology companies, and I want to specifically call out two partners. First one is Scooby Designs. This organization is helping us in managing our social media handles. And there is another company called eMag. eMag is responsible for managing all our technology platform, be it BAF Connect app, website, admin portal, everything. So special thank to our partner as well. Now, to conclude, we will simply walk you through some of the key programs that we did. And here again, I would like to request Arunji to start with the Brand Bangalore campaign, and then we will touch upon the others.
Can you go down two, three pictures down the line? More. Yeah. So this picture is, from the Brand Bangalore initiative of the government of Karnataka. Shortly after coming into power, the Deputy Chief Minister created this initiative called Brand Bangalore, under which about 8 themes are there. And we, like Satish Malya had mentioned, we have contributed to each of those 8 brands in terms of a better Bangalore. And this is going to be an ongoing program where we should be serious contributors to a better Bangalore. And it's good that the Deputy Chief Minister by now so far has given about 4 audiences for BAF, and that is really creditable to BAF. And this is also in continuation with, previously we used to meet the earlier Deputy Chief Minister, Dr. Ashwath Narayana, fairly frequently. So our visibility is there, and the member network is getting all the benefits of all of this. And in this picture, we're interacting with many BAF representatives were there, and met with Deputy Chief Minister along with BBMP seniors as well as the zonal seniors, etc. You can take the others.
In addition to this, can we all...
I forgot to introduce K.C. Veeraraghavan. He's back here. So he's been engaging with, new members, and very well done, K.C.
Thank you. So I'll conclude it by just mentioning few more programs. We were also involved in helping other tracks in the BAF Hasiru back. We did every Vote Matters campaign, EVM campaign. You might have remember those contests which we were doing, selfie contest and all. That was a major hit. And we took also some statistics of EVM campaign. Seems like some of our member apartments, the voting percentage was as high as 70%. And overall across Bangalore, I think it was acknowledged that this time apartment voters did vote in large number. So that in that space also, BAF played a very good role. We also conducted BAF Apartment Cricket League tournament, which was also acknowledged and participated by many members. Very lately, I think a couple of weeks back, we were also part of Ask CP interaction with the Commissioner of Police. There is a program from the police department where they want to increase their outreach to the general citizens. They have reached out to the BAF so that we can be a medium for the same. We had one session with our Commissioner of Police, Shri Dayananda. It was a very good session. If you are part of the cluster group, you might have got all the minutes. That's all we have done. I'll leave you with some of the pictures which we did for the EVM campaign. Before closing, again, I want to thank all the cluster councils, clusters presidents, secretaries. We have all worked with you. A lot of things which have worked, I would say you have done a really good job. If something has not worked, blame it on us. We are willing to take that. And all the best to the new teams who will be coming up. Lot of work to be done for BAF. I'm pretty sure the baton will be given to the good hands, and wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
So, we are the last team before you get a coffee or a tea break, so just sit back and relax for the next 8 to 10 minutes. So, myself, Vishnu Gattupalli, leading the track team of Community Citizenship and Collaborations, along with Zamir.
Yeah, myself, Zabir Nadaf. I am the Joint Secretary for the BAF Governing Council.
Yeah, Vidya is not here. Upender, if you could go to the next slides. So, yeah, our team primary roles has been like, I think you have seen the core work. I'll lift this up or hold it in the hand otherwise. So, as you have seen the technical services team, which was the core heart of handling the BESCOM, water related, BWSB related topics, and then we had the member engagement teams, etc. So, our team has been specially focused on the building and establishing new partnerships and new programs that can add value addition to the members, right? So something as a value addition that we can bring in. So one of the first tasks for us is to explore the partnerships and programs in the area of community citizenship and collaborations. So that's our primary task. For example, if a new NGO or a new partner would like to get in touch with BAF and want to do a program, so our team was doing the evaluation in terms of whether it makes sense or whether it's a good fit or whether it provides value to our members. Then the next thing is how can we increase visibility of BAF, because of course the other teams, as you have seen, they are working at the heart of it with BBMP, BESCOM, KERC, BWSSB and everyone else, right? So our focus is on how can we increase BAF visibility to the inbound, more towards the residents, right? The programs that we want to work with, how can we increase the visibility to apartment residents? Then also increase the visibility across NGOs and other government bodies so that they take more notice and we increase our interactions towards those bodies, NGOs and the other governmental bodies. Then finally, positioning of BAF as a strategically key stakeholder in specific areas like civic impact, like you've mentioned brand Bangalore, so we were also part of that, and EVM, we were part of that, so something like that. So with that, we pick at least few initiatives that our team has evaluated and has done, and then we take it off. From here, you have a mic? Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. Next slide, please. Okay. So I must say that each of the initiatives, either me or entire team, is covering here within 40 seconds. It has taken minimum 4 months to accomplish and plan and accomplish. To respect your time, we are just covering in 40 seconds. Yeah. So this is the fire safety training program which we planned for the estate managers, and we can proudly say that, as Vikram also said about this, we have covered 75 of estate managers for the fire safety. So in these programs, the Beyond Carlton team had partnered with us, and they were able to explain and do the workshop for the estate managers, how you can prevent the fire, or if the fire happens, how you can control it. Along with that, the Manipal Foundation joined hand with us, and they trained all the estate managers on how to do the CPR, why to do the CPR and when to do the CPR. So any of your estate manager has attended this workshop, he knows how to do the CPR. So anytime you find any emergency, so just call your estate manager, and if he has not attended or she has not attended, ensure that the next programs they attend these programs. Yeah, next one. So for the BAP senior citizens, I must say this was the vision of our President Nagaraj Rao sir, which we have to take it ahead. And this really helped many of the BAF community senior citizens, where many partners joined hand with us, and they created in-presence programs in the apartments, visited with the entire team, and brought together all the senior citizens and played really well games and the knowledgeable programs like how to use the apps and all those things. So now we have most of the senior citizens in one WhatsApp group and all the partners also in the one group, where if any of the senior citizens needs one help, they just have to send one message in the WhatsApp group. There will be 4 partners calling them, can I help you, sir? Right. Yeah, next slide, please. So this is the first pilot program we have tried this year. It's with the partnership of MAM Entertainment. This was the cricket tournament we planned across all the clusters. It went very well. Many of the, all the age groups like kids, adults and the senior citizens also participated in this cricket tournament, and we really had a good fun out of these programs, and we plan to do much more advanced level tournaments in coming future. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Samir. And there was a lot of effort for that, and also just to add in terms of the sports interactions, because the reason why we are doing these things is, I mean, people come to BAF when there is an issue, when they are slapped with a notice of BBMP, BWSSB, KSPCB, when in trouble they reach out to BAF. But with these programs and engagements, we want to proactively outreach to members and give value addition. Along with that, we also have done, we have not put a slide, successfully done by Pawan and team of Anoop and folks from here from Whitefield area. So around the Whitefield zone, they've conducted one badminton tournament. Some 60-70 apartments have attended. It was very vibrant and locally sourced, I mean local sponsorships, and very well done. That was a very good example that at least people got to know each other. Meeting of apartments happened. Next slide, Upender. So yeah, the next initiative, or one of the key initiatives, I mean broadly speaking, personal to public is one initiative, but prior to that there was a lot of work we have done in the how can we decongest Bangalore, right? So one of the campaigns, or one of the key campaigns that we have partnered with is called personal to public, right? In personal to public, we have tied up with, that was initiated by World Resources Institute, WRI, and BPAC, Bangalore Political Action Committee. And we have been a key partner, and we are part of the steering committee. Myself and Vikram are there in that committee, where how can we increase adoption of public transport so that we can decongest Bangalore? How can we influence the policy? How can we influence the lawmakers? So some of the successful things that we have done is, we were actively part of Purple Line drills, or we were part of the ORR feeder bus trial runs and launch of that, and part of those programs and all that. And we continue to do that. We continue to engage with Greenpeace in terms of the debates, in terms of how can we increase public participation, and how can we increase the public transport and reduce the personal transport usage. And we have also done certain initiatives related to promotion of Nammayatri app. Many of you must have used Nammayatri to launch for autos. We have done that. And we have also tried to do a session with respect to the BMLTA Act, which is the Bengaluru Metro Land Transport Authority Act, which brings all BMTC, BMRCL, all bodies under one roof. And maybe the next slide. Yeah, some of the other initiatives, like here and there, we have done quite a lot of activities. We cannot condense everything here. So one of the things that we did last year and this year as well is Danutsav. Danutsav is a festival of giving, where how can we give back maybe a donation in the form of money, rice, grains to domestic workers, or donation in the form of a knowledge to slum dwellers, or your apartment maids, or security people, children, or something like that. So we have done a campaign for that. And Jamir and myself and some of us in the team members have been part of the apartment handover workshop organized by Adda and Nammadi. I think Satish Malya and Aditya Rao, some of them were also part of those workshops. And one successful and heart-fulfilling thing that we have done in Whitefield in the apartments near Anoop is the Sri Jagrati Sampatti cards for domestic workers. Most of the times domestic workers are our lifeline, but we don't end up doing anything for them. We tied up with Sri Jagrati Samiti and Sampatti cards, where they will really literally give you some sort of they did in 2 parts, right? Part 1 is, doing a camp for domestic workers, getting their Aadhaar cards and everything, and enrolling them in Ambedkar portal, so that if government, gives some sort of, subsidies or some sort of money to them, like during COVID time, the relief amount of 2,000 was given. If they're registered as, unrecognized labor or part of that sector, they would get benefits from the government. So that's one drive that we have done. The second part we have done is, they will get nameless debit cards. And with the Sampatti cards and other thing, what happens is they will also have a CIBIL score. The domestic workers will have CIBIL score. Otherwise, when they want money, people lend them at a higher interest rate. But with these cards, they will have a CIBIL score, they will have pay slips. Even if they go to a bank or somewhere else, they could at least get loans, or at least they have a proof of employment that they have worked, etc. That's a very good initiative that we have done. And we would like to take it probably next year in a big scale so that we can benefit the people that help us the most in the apartments, right? Then Namayatri I've talked about. BMLTA we talked about. Electric buggy is something that's in process. So we wanted to distribute free electric buggies to larger apartments. That's in progress. Then some activities related to do-it-yourself activity with some bots, chatbots, etc. with reap benefit. And some compost exchange pilot was done in certain areas. And Tulsiram is here, and Pawan and some of us are very active part of the Bangalore ward committees. We were part of initial discussions for forming this Bangalore Ward Samiti Samavesha. Then pushing for more and more ward committees, made several representation to BBMP Chief Commissioner and Zonal Commissioners to ensure that the ward committee meetings happens and citizens' points are raised for local governance, right? So thanks to Tulsiram, who has been a champion in that, and we have also tied up with some NGOs like WWF for observing Earth Hour, and we have also done a unique thing, human-bee conflict, especially high rises. You have honeybees, and you can also see some interesting videos on how to handle human-bee conflict and the behavior of bees and other things like that. And also we have partnered with Janagraha and BBAC for My City, My Budget, basically to understand in which part of the city you need more budget for roads, potholes, street lights, park benches and things like that. And we were also part of Bangalore Citizen Perception Survey with BPAC. So we work with a lot of partners on a need basis to give inputs or to be part of thought leadership discussions, etc. So I think not many, but at least Tulsiram, Pawan, Anup, some of the people from our CCC team are there. It's a big team, and everyone pitched in whenever there was a need. And there is a lot to be done here, because these initiatives, that's what at least the residents will know, that BAF exists, BAF is doing something for us. Otherwise, all the communication, as Upender or Vikram said, sometimes it stops at MC WhatsApp groups. It's like a firewall. It doesn't go to the residents groups, right? So that's what we are trying to effectively change, and also push for a lot of social media push. At least our team is also actively involved in the digital push with social media. We have hired a new team. Myself and Upender and some of us are pushing for a lot of social media adoption, because whatever we are posting in the WhatsApp groups, with the firewall, it doesn't go to the residents. So we are at least trying to reach them with social media. So that's all from track 5. And our vision is to take more and more such steps, so that BAF is not only helping members in wartime, but also a lot in peacetime with such initiatives. Thank you.
Thank you. Like Jamir rightly said, I think to condense and share what all activities has been happening in a short time is impossible. But yeah, thank you all the track teams who've done a good job to present quickly, succinctly, but I think more importantly, not missing out the important parts which were done. Like Jamir mentioned, many of these initiatives have taken a lot of time to set up, but yeah, they come to fruition. One of the things that we have found and noticed, and that is where a lot of support from people who are participating over here, as well as committee members of various member associations is required, is that a lot of times some of the programs, benefits, campaigns which are really impactful and relevant to residents do not get communicated to them. There is a sort of a firewall at the management committee level which prevents it from going over there. Of course, BAF has a dependency currently on some of the representatives from the committee who are on communication groups, etc., to do that job. But having said that, we have also realized that a lot of times that does not happen for various reasons. Of course, people are busy. There's so much of digital traffic these days, multiple WhatsApp groups, etc. But our earnest request is, I think we don't end up sending too much of communication, which, I mean, we are not a daily blast kind of a group. But having said that, if there are communications which are and we also highlight if there are certain communications which are meaningful for residents, please do forward it to your residents, because many of them will benefit from either participating or engaging with that. That's a request, and all of you can be thought leaders towards that. But having said that, thank you to all my colleagues who have presented the activities in a succinct form. I hope it was useful for your knowledge and understanding. We'll of course have Sundar and take you through the financial part of it shortly, but we will take a short bio break and a coffee break for 10 minutes. But before that, if there is an acceptance from the general body to approve the annual presentation and the report, then we can move forward as well. If I can take it that, if the general body would approve the annual report which is presented. Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you a lot. Of course, this has also been. Please, sir. Please. We will have one almost, I think about 20 minutes. Hopefully, we can carve out for suggestions in the second half. Is that okay, sir? We will make sure, absolutely. So we will now, I know a lot of people are getting very antsy, so we will take a 10-minute break. It is 11:28 now. 11:40, we will start reassembling so that we can get started by 11:45, right? Thank you so much. Yeah, possible, but yeah, thank you all the track teams who've done a good job to present quickly, succinctly, but I think more importantly, not missing out the important parts which were done. Like Jameer mentioned, many of these initiatives have taken a lot of time to set up, but yeah, they come to fruition. One of the things that we have found and noticed, and that is where a lot of support from people who are participating over here, as well as committee members of various member associations is required, is that a lot of times some of the programs, benefits, campaigns which are really impactful and relevant to residents do not get communicated to them. There is a sort of a firewall at the management committee level which prevents it from going over there. Of course, BAF has a dependency currently on some of the representatives from the committee who are on communication groups, etc., to do that job. But having said that, we have also realized that a lot of times that does not happen for various reasons. Of course, people are busy. There's so much of digital traffic these days, multiple WhatsApp groups, etc. But our earnest request is, yeah, I think we don't end up sending too much of communication, which, I mean, we are not a daily blast kind of a group. But having said that, if there are communications which are, and we also highlight if there are certain communications which are meaningful for residents, please do forward it to your residents, because many of them will benefit from either participating or engaging with that. That's a request, and all of you can be thought leaders towards that. But having said that, thank you to all my colleagues who have presented the activities in a succinct form. I hope it was useful for your knowledge and understanding. We'll of course have Sundar and take you through the financial part of it shortly, but we will take a short bio break and a coffee break for 10 minutes. But before that, if there is an acceptance from the general body to approve the annual presentation and the report, then we can move forward as well. If I can take it that, if the general body would approve the annual report which is presented. Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you a lot. Of course, this has also been. Sorry. Please, sir. Please. We will have one almost, I think about 20 minutes. Hopefully, we can carve out for suggestions in the second half. Is that okay, sir? We will make sure, absolutely. So we will now, I know a lot of people are getting very antsy, so we will take a 10-minute break. It is 11:28 now. 11:40, we will start reassembling so that we can get started by 11:45, right? Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yes. Still good morning to all of you. Okay. I'll take 5 minutes to talk about the Finance and Taxation Committee. Our role is rather limited in scope at present, and primarily we work for two aspects. One is internal, which is on managing the annual subscriptions from the members, which in terms of time takes a major part of our bandwidth. Then second is we also look at sharing the best practices amongst the members on matters relating to GST, taxation, financial management, and so on. The key highlights: accounting, we migrated from QuickBooks to Zoho Books, and given that our budgets are extremely meager, we did a sort of jugaad by moving from QuickBooks to Tally for the past history, keeping it aside, and then moved afresh to Zoho. So that way we could achieve the total expenditure of 7,500 rupees as against quotes of 1 lakhs and 2 lakhs, which our IT professionals from Bangalore quoted. The second is just a hygiene, sanity check. We are compliant with payment of taxes, deduction of taxes, income tax returns have been filed, GST returns are all up to date. Of course, there have been some payment in the accounting year of financial year 22-23 for delayed filing of tax deduction returns, which was discussed in the last AGM itself. So it is number-wise, it is coming in the accounts. And it's a one-time payment which we have made of close to 2.5 lakhs. Then KSRA, as of now, the official position is we have handed over the registration application up to 2022 March. The officer has held it pending, saying that you finish the AGM and apply for 22-23 also, then we will give you one registration certificate renewal certificate. So it is pending. Maybe the next week we will file the application for the financial year 23 along with the evidence of the AGM. And we have also held a special general body meeting and amended our bylaws. That bylaw amendment approval will also be considered along with the registration renewal. Statutory auditors, Manohar Chowdhury and Associates, have issued an unqualified report. Yeah. Now, I'll go to the financials. A copy of the audited financial statements have been placed in the entrance and has been made available to all of you. Now, unfortunately, due to logistics and non-availability of the signing partner of the audit firm, there was a goof up and only current year figures are there. Therefore, my apologies. And here we have the complete with the last year comparison. This is available in our microsite. Please view it from there to have a good comparison. I need to explain to you this a little bit. Broadly, our income consists of one-time registration fees of 500 rupees. The 500 includes GST. And annual membership fees, which is based on a certain slab. And what we do is, in terms of our principle, we every year raise renewal invoices for a full financial year, whereas the initial joining member at the time of joining pays a proportionate membership fee for till 31st March. These are the 2 points. Now, the second aspect is we follow a conservative income recognition policy by which we say that if I am going to raise in financial year 22-23 invoices for that year, I do not raise invoices for members who have not paid for the earlier years, 2 years before, and remove them for the purpose of membership fee. Because the logic is that in practice we have found that people who have not paid will not like to now go back and pay for the past. Secondly, they will say that MC is gone, they have decided not to pay, so I will not violate that decision, I will pay you for the current year. Third is, we would have reached out to a wrong set of office bearers who would have moved on, and as a result, 1 year would have elapsed. All these indicate that we have to tighten up our process of collection much more than what we are doing now. But the fact is that we also do not consider them for renewal invoice raising, and whatever are the outstandings, we reverse. You will see that in our here, We have an annual membership fee for 2023. We have raised invoices for 33.71 lakhs. Then we have done reversals of 8.58 lakhs. What is this? The 8.58 lakhs reversal are the invoices pertaining to membership fee up to March 22, which have not been paid when we raised invoices of this 33.71 lakhs, which is August 2022. We said they will not come, and then we also adjusted the GST paid for those 8 lakhs invoices in the September GST return. That was one of the reasons why we waited till August to do that. Then the next source of income is sponsorship income. The sponsorship income is primarily for events, whatever events or other track teams described. We do have, last year we had around 6.8 lakhs of sponsorship income, but by and large this amount is spent on the events. We ensure that we don't have a negative, but we are not planning to get a surplus from that. These are the, and then the bank interest. As of today, we have 10 lakhs as deposit in the banks. The total income is last year 32.35, and before that, the prior year, we have 37.67, but that 37.67 is at an invoice raised level, and out of this 37 lakhs, in the current year, we reversed 8.58. So effectively, to compare, you should take 33.71 lakhs of annual membership fee in the current year versus 36 lakhs minus this 8, which becomes 28 lakhs. That's the comparison, because otherwise, when the membership is increasing, if you say that my income is dropping, you will find that something is wrong. The reason is this. And we continue, in fact, in the current year budget, I have considered 5 lakhs as the hit in terms of the 33 lakhs, something will get reversed. Because people may not pay, they will say we are not interested, or the old MC has not approved this, or this MC is not approving it. All this will happen. We are learning the reasons, and we are trying to do that. Then in terms of expenses, I have listed out the broad group of expenses. One is the salary. Salary, the team did not change. We increased the salaries. So 9.63 lakhs was 31st March 22 versus in 22-23, 13 lakhs. And the headcount continues to be the same 3 people. In the current year, that means 23-24, we have a plan of taking a program manager or an equivalent person to implement various programs, because we do realize that as the time passes, the workload increases, and all of us are working pro bono on this in addition to our regular jobs. So we need somebody to attend to the minor details. Major ones, everyone will take care, but minor details are something we cannot allow that to be unattended. So we need to keep somebody to do that. So the new governing council will decide on the exact profile and recruit a person for that. So we've made some provisions. Then event expenses, you see that 6.80 lakhs of sponsorship income. Out of that, we have spent 4.59 lakhs. Now the event sometimes spread across the year, 31st March. So especially the town hall events, we collected money, but the money was spent also in the April 23, which is why you see a profit there. Then legal fees, I must explain a little bit on the legal fees. Legal fees is not a periodic expenditure. It happens only when the cases are taken up in the courts and when the advocates attend the court. And therefore, this follows the happening of the legal events. And therefore, last year we spent 4 lakhs. This was initial budget was around 10 lakhs. We have spent 4 lakhs. And this year, so far, we have spent around 1.5 lakhs. We expect it to be a little more this year. Then IT infrastructure. IT infrastructure is primarily for maintenance of our website. Though we are a fairly lean organization, we heavily invest and depend on technology, and therefore the technology expenditure will always be a meaningful number. And we have our website, our apps, and so many other things. Similarly, Zoho subscription, all these are covered in that. And our complete record keeping is all on Google Drive. And therefore, while it is easily accessible to all the governing council members, that also costs us money. That is what is the IT infrastructure. Now the members and cluster engagements, last year was 1.42 lakhs. This year it is 3.56. And the main increase is on account of last year we decided that we have to hold more cluster meetings because the number of clusters also increased, and we also need to reimburse clusters who need reimbursement for these cluster meetings. Not all ask for reimbursement. There are quite a few clusters who say that our members provide the hospitality, but in some cases they ask the BAF to reimburse the expenses, whatever they want. And this is primarily that, plus of course the alternate executive council meetings which we hold, primarily thanks to our president, we hold it in Bangalore club, which is the lowest cost option for us. And also the meetings on the estate managers. These are all covered under the 3.56 lakhs. Now the last big ticket is the TDS delayed payment, fees and interest. This topic was discussed in detail in the last year AGM, but the payment was made last year, so it has come here. This is due to a technical issue. The the TAN number login identity credentials were not sort of available to us in spite of the best efforts from our side, our CA and the tax department, that finally got opened up last year, and therefore there were substantial delays, and we filed returns for 3 years in last year August. And this is the delayed filing fees, not the payment. Taxes were all paid regularly, but the filing fees. And then I'll finish this, then you can ask. Then other expenses, there is a breakup sheet available. I'll show you the. Okay. So overall, last year there was a surplus of 21.18 lakhs, and this year a comparable figure is a negative of excess of expenditure over income of 1.78 lakhs. So primarily the reasons for this negative, one is the income reversal of 8.58 lakhs, then delayed payment of tax of 2.79 lakhs, and the legal expenditure and others. These are the primary reasons. Otherwise, in terms of real expenditure, nothing is increased, excepting the event expenditure, sponsorship event expenditure, which is in line with the income which is generated first. We first get the income and then spend, so that is not. Sorry. We have in this like, questions to this slide, you can ask. Primarily, it is a department, our own reason, and our auditor, all of them combined together, it didn't happen. I think I would like to leave it at that. And see, our account is a savings bank account. I take the point that pulling, what is that, this thing, sweep account.
As you said, ours is a very meager income. So to maximize it.
Our cash balances are not many, sir. Only now we have increased. But what we decided is that we will keep a few lakhs of money, 2-3 lakhs of balances available for meeting expenditure. Then balance goes into fixed deposits.
No, not fixed deposits. You can have it floating. I have it.
I understand.
Cash management. For example, HDFC will, I'm sure, give a solution itself. But in my case, I keep money. For example, there's an account with ICICI which pays 7.5 to 8% per annum, where you can put in money whenever you want, withdraw money whenever you want. There's no entry and exit load.
So our practice is that, see, we keep State Bank of India for expenditure.
So I'm suggesting a change in practice to maximize
I will check that
income.
out. See, State Bank of India is meant only for expenditure, and money is moved from HDFC to State Bank.
Correct.
Wait, let me finish. And from HDFC, we move monies to fixed deposit on a periodic basis.
No,
so I will also look at.
I understand your logic.
Sir, please ask me a question. How are you to answer? Don't intervene in this.
So I will check with HDFC whether we are anyway having a cash management discussion. If they have a sweep-in account which offers more than 3% interest, I'm willing to do it. The reason is that the interest rates are so low that I found it better to take the money and put it in fixed deposit for 1 year. And we will review that decision.
No, very well. I leave it to you to review it. You're the person who is in the hot seat. But I'm giving you the suggestion because I'm getting 7.5% on this no entry load, no exit load mutual fund.
And March figures are high because March there was a big effort to collect, and as a result the monies came in. They all got invested in the April beginning. Sir, you had a question?
I leave it to you. You're in the hot seat.
give it to me later. Sure.
Yes.
See, the moot point which is there is that any TDS payment, delayed payment which is there is a prior period expenses.
Absolutely.
So it should have been taken out and directly debited to the reserves and not been brought into your P&L account. It would have helped presentation of your results.
That is
1 second. There
right
is one
point.
more question which is there is that if you have reversals of membership which are happening, which are almost equivalent to about 25%, then the increased numbers which are being mentioned by the membership committee, are they being proportionately culled out? Because when you're talking of an increase, and if someone doesn't pay his membership fee, should his name not be culled out there? Then you know the 200%, 200 numbers increase is mere fiction.
Can I answer?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So, the first point is, the members, by and large, want to continue as members. Nobody wants to go out as, I don't like BAF or I don't get value from BAF. There are some, but the numbers are extremely few. Majority of the people who have not paid because, this is from their perspective I am saying this, we have not reached out to them. The reaching out for the 1,500, 3,600 or 3,600 and 4,800 are the popular amounts due. Okay, we have to reach out to them. Now, why we are not able to reach out? Because the information we had, the MCs have changed meanwhile, they have not updated. So recently, Upender and team had a concerted approach. They moved heaven and earth to get the latest updates done for all the office bearers. Now, this is something we have to constantly do, and we cannot depend on the members to update their new MCs. Nobody cares. I mean, excepting a few apartments who will actively do it. So that's one learning. Second is, we have to call them without you asking them, you will not do. And emails, not many read, and if it is going to the past office bearer, he will simply move it out and delete. Because for his, BAF is out of his mind. So therefore, we have to reach. Last year, we did a unique experiment and reached out through, thanks to Arun, we reached out through the WhatsApp and it yielded excellent results. Of course, there were some, we have not continued that practice. But what we are doing is, we have engaged an outbound calling agency to call all the apartments one by one to tell them that you have to pay this amount. This is the invoice reference. It's on a trial basis. We raised our invoices for the current year in September. We will be going with them, ahead with them full time to do that. All this will result in improved collections. If that happens, this number will come down. That is one of the reasons why we have not deleted all of them, because a lot of people have come back. And one more reason. Okay, the last point, one more point is, there are quite a few people who say, I will pay for current year, I will not pay for past year because my MC is, that MC is not approved. Now, we have a policy internally that if you don't pay for past, I will not take your current. Right or wrong, we have taken a decision that you have to pay for the entire outstandings. So the members are saying, I will pay. I have at least 15 cases, they are saying that tomorrow I will pay if you allow me to pay. But I won't pay for the past. Now, these are all some of this. Agreed. Yeah, we will do that. See, all this is happening it's going on for the last 6 months. Yeah.
Now, you did mention that several managing committees, when they come and go, they don't pay. I would like to give you an insight as to why this happens. I used to be a secretary of the Convent Road Association, which has some of the oldest, apartments. Mine is Gulmohar. I've been the president for 9 years. I have a tough time in paying the subscriptions. The reason is equity. Many people object, saying that you have a sudden step that over 50 apartments till 500 apartments, it's a block fee. You're not charging fees according to number of households. As a result of this block fee, many people say it's iniquitous. Why should we subsidize the overhead allocation of a 400 apartment block?
I have heard this argument enough. I have spoken to members also. per apartment basis.
No,
the amount is
you
so
can do
small.
whatever
Per
you
amount
want
it
with
is
it.
still lesser.
Mr. Sundarajan,
These are all
you can do
arguments
whatever.
to object.
No, Mr. Sundarajan, you can do whatever you want with it. It's up to BAF. But I am giving you feedback as to one of the reasons why managing committees which come in have a problem in paying the subscription. You can do whatever you want.
I agree with you. No, these questions have come to me. I have spoken to presidents, convinced them that, look at it on a per apartment, per member, month basis. It's hardly less than a rupee or even 25 paise. So we have said that you should pay, and people have paid. But some have held on to this stand. I agree. Agree. Okay, we'll go to the next slide. You have slide on point on this?
Hello. Good afternoon. My name is Ashok Jangid. I am from Shobha Indrapastra. I have some comments on the financial actually. Some suggestions and some comments. First of all, some figures which are appearing here in this slide, they are not matching with the accounts we have been given.
It will match due to regrouping. I can explain to you. So,
for example, legal fees is 4.11 lakhs. Here is 7 lakhs actually.
No, that's two items have got mixed up.
The professional fees also there some.
Correct.
Okay. Secondly, if you see the TDS delayed payment is 2.79, here is 2.62.
There are 2-3 cases, TDS, GST, all have been put together here.
Okay, but the last figure, the loss actually, here is 1.85 lakhs, not 1.78.
Depreciation, 8,000.
But these are the signed...
I know, that's okay, that is correct. 8,000 is depreciation, I have not considered depreciation. I thought members will be interested in cash.
Okay.
I have not put the depreciation here, that's all. This is a presentation. So regrouping...
Ultimately, we go by this signed accounts, right?
Please go by that. This is for easy understanding.
Okay.
And also to put the last year column and explain to you.
Okay. But one suggestion actually, in this audited accounts, signed accounts given to us for approval, the last year's figures should have been there actually.
I agree with you. I have no excuse on that. I agree with you.
Yeah, because without that, we wouldn't know the comparison actually.
I agree with you.
And one last suggestion actually, the accounts are signed by 3 signatories here. Kindly give the names and the positions so we understand who are the signatories.
We have put the role.
Sorry?
We will do that.
Yeah, okay.
No, we put the role, we will also put the names. That's okay. I thought our BAF members will know who are our office bearers.
Sir, only signatures are there. From signatures we can't make out. And today we may remember, down the line we may not remember.
No, I just said in a lighter vein, I accept your suggestion.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I just accept it. I have no issues on this. I am not defensive on any of the points, sir.
Hello.
I take it. I think. Sir, that's different. This is different. I agree.
Hello.
Right. Point taken.
Sir, 1 minute. I am from Electronic City Cluster. Based on Mr. Upinder Singh's advice, we have revamped the system, and we find that there were about some 7 members who have not renewed the membership. I personally contacted each one of them. Their plea was that in 2019 and 20, when the COVID was there, they were not having any money at all. In fact, some of even the residents, they didn't pay the maintenance. So they said that now we are ready to come in, provided you exempt us from paying the 20 and 21. Because now the new committees have come in. 1 minute, sir, let me complete. New committees have come in. They said that we will not go for what has not happened in 2021. If you are agreeing to that, I am ready to make the payment now.
I am telling you, we are agreeable. We are asking only for 21-22. Prior years, if we have not paid, we are not asking.
Sir, please, let me also. They don't want to pay for the previous 21 years. 22 they are ready to pay, 23 they are ready to pay. Incidentally,
give me the names. If they are willing to pay for 21-22, I will go there, collect the money and waive the past.
Secondly, sir, these invoices are not coming on time. In fact, 23-24 invoices have not yet been generated to the best of my knowledge. I had a talk with Rama just a couple of days back. And secondly, even the change in the board of managers numbers, that is not happening on a continuous basis. I am not criticizing, I am just advocating, saying that some quick action has to be taken.
See, the invoices have been sent to all, because the system is sent. Okay. Now what could have happened is, it could have gone because of the names registered there to the old set of office bearers. So I can confirm that invoices have gone to all, but invoices have not reached all current office bearers. What you are saying is correct, quite possible.
Okay, sir, I'll just clarify 1 or 2 points.
Yes, definitely, we take this point. But I would talk to you again. I would like to invite those 7 members to come and pay us for
Definitely,
21,
sir.
22 and come back to our fold.
I won't disturb the forum, I will have 1-to-1.
Sure, okay. Like, if the same set of questions are going to come, can we move on to the next slide? My time is limited.
Good morning. I am Subhash from Shobha Chrysanthemum. I just want to ask one clarification. Does BAF has a corpus?
Sorry?
Does
Corpus.
BAF have corpus?
The corpus is the one-time membership fee paid by every incoming member for the first time. That is the corpus. And then the balance is the surplus of income over expenditure, and sometimes like this you have a negative also. That is these two are the equivalent of capital corpus.
Right. So does the corpus need to reflect balance? Does the corpus need to be shown in the balance sheet?
It will come. The balance, next slide is balance sheet.
Actually, it is not there in the statement circulated to us. That's why.
This is the balance sheet, and this again has a comparison with the last year compared to the printed accounts what you have. So if you see the members corpus, your question is answered. There is components of one-time registration fees, and the next one is excess of income over expenditure, net figure. Then the total corpus as of now is 37.44 compared to 38.83 of last year. The reduction is due once due to the expenditure excess over income the last year.
Sundar, just couple of points. The receivables are almost 45% of the annual revenue.
Yes.
So kindly focus on the recovery. And one small mistake here in the signed accounts. There is a word called extent expense. It should
Events.
Be event. Yeah, so kindly get it corrected. They are signed accounts.
I couldn't correct it because the partner is signed. That's why the document which I have uploaded, I have changed it.
Yeah, but these are signed, so please correct it here and focus on the receivables.
See, the post-COVID, our audit partner sits somewhere else, and he signed this and then went off on a holiday somewhere. He was not available to change it.
Hello. Requesting everyone to maintain silence, please.
Then, so that is on that. Current liabilities are nothing but the March bills and salaries which was paid on April 1st. All that together lumped up. Then fixed assets, we bought laptops for Rama. That is this one single laptop. Currently, we bought 2 more for the other 2 employees. We have no other assets on the fixed asset side. And then receivables 14.62. And out of the 14.62, with tremendous efforts by the Arun, KCV and Rama, we have got around 3 to 4 lakhs in the month of August and September, and then we hope to get much more on that. But we are not reversing these amounts, and we are following up with the current year outstandings. Then the other advances is some advance paid to the vendor. Then cash balance including FD 22.61 lakhs. Primarily the money is with the State Bank of India and HDFC Bank. State Bank is for expenditure, and it's already 10 lakhs is deposited. Then the other one is we are getting the collections received through Razor Pay, which facilitates UPI and other payment methods, and therefore there is an amount of bank charges, which is the main expenditure in the bank charges. Then the total current assets 37 lakhs as against 39 lakhs of the past year. So this is the balance sheet. Now this is the breakup for the other expenses. Auditor's remuneration continues to be the same at 20,000. Bank charges 15,000. Substantial part is paid to Razor Pay. Then interest on GST, okay, 2,000 rupees. Office rent, we have a office which is on a virtual office in HSR layout. We pay something like 500 rupees, 500 and odd rupees per month. That is this. This year we are we might go in for a bigger office where if you take full-time employees like a program manager, they can sit and work. It could be mostly in a co-working space. house. And just go back. The rest of the expenditure is all normal. Marketing media is what Upender had. It is meant for one agency called Scooby-Doo. And the rest are all. Telephone is nominal reimbursement given to Rama plus a couple of other people. Now, this is the budget for next year. Now, first we'll take the member movements. I think Ramesh also asked that question. So, the current year, our estimate, FY24, last year we had 1,058 in the beginning. Attrition is around 200. 200 are the people who have not paid, not that they have gone away. But for our purpose, budgeting purposes, we have removed. And 110 new members, closing is what, 968. And considering the outstandings and other things, we raised renewal invoices for 837. And last year. And 23-24, we opened the account with 968. We estimate around 140 will not pay. And new members, we estimate again 150. So total closing, we expect it to be 978. We have raised invoices in the month of September for 23-24 for 962 members. It's a slightly better position than last year, partly because of the new members and partly because of slightly better collection. So next, coming to the income budget, against last year of 34 lakhs, we expect it to be 35 lakhs this year. That 35 lakhs is nothing but the total of the invoices we have raised in the month of September. There are actual invoices. Then proposed fee hike. There is a proposal to increase the fees little bit to cover inflation. We expect 3 lakhs income to come. And we have made a provision of 5 lakhs as the income which will get reversed because people won't pay. That's something we have to, it's similar to the 140 members who will not pay. So we expect the net figure next year to be 33 lakhs and 10 lakhs to come as sponsorship fees. Out of the 10 lakhs, we have already received little more than 2 lakhs as of now. Not even 2, slightly more than 2, I think. 3 lakhs, including the brigade. Brigade is sponsoring in a big way on some of the events. Okay, this is the total interest income. We expect it to be 1 lakh. It's an estimated figure. Total 44 lakhs will be the total income. Now, expenditure budget for next year, as against 34 lakhs of 22-23, we are planning to spend 50 lakhs. And when we spend 50 lakhs, we expect a deficit of 6.55 lakhs. But let me also assure you that most of these expenditure will be in line with the income, and if the income doesn't come the way we are projecting, we may also scale down our expenditure. Now, where is this main increase happening? One is in the manpower from 13 lakhs to 19 lakhs. This is primarily due to recruitment of one additional person. Then IT infrastructure and software subscriptions. That is expected to go up by almost 2 lakhs. They have been, the current agencies have been on a very low fee and the activity levels have substantially increased. Hence, the legal fees 5 lakhs, this is based on the current cases in hand and the expected appearances in the Supreme Court. Then member engagements and cluster meetings. Last year 3.5 lakhs, this year we have made it as 6.5 because we do believe when we sort of persuade all the clusters to have their meetings, there will be increased need to reimburse expenditure. This is primarily that. Then sponsored events, 8 lakhs is in line with the income reckoned of 10 lakhs. Then office rent, we are expecting to take one small cubicle and this 1.5 lakhs is towards that. Then audit fees, professional fees, 1 lakh and odd is the audit fees for either fees for some engagements, and 50,000 is towards the audit fees plus whatever fees we'll have to pay for our KSRA renewal. Then marketing 1.5 lakhs, it is an ad hoc budget. And travel we have not provided. If it comes, we will see. Last year we had 2.79 lakhs. This included travel to Chennai with some of our cluster members. Then lot of cluster meeting related expenditure, people also ask for reimbursement of specialized conveyance. That means they had to take certain things somewhere else for the meeting and go back and all. So overall is this. So overall total 50 lakhs. This is the budget. Yeah, please.
Given the scale of activity, the fact that most people are honorary, these expenditures are more than acceptable.
Why do you say that? You tell me what is not acceptable here.
Considering the extent of activity, this is all very acceptable. The only issue which you need to watch out for is fixed overheads like office rent and employees, because you're saying that your income is absolutely unpredictable.
I agree with you, but we had a debate on that. See, what's happening is that next year all the tracks are substantially increased, stepping up their levels of activity, and we need to have someone full-time to monitor and, like for example, getting an appointment from a government department at a minister level, keeping track of that. We need somebody full-time to do all that.
Is there
Today,
no society which can offer you the office space?
Huh?
Is there no society which can offer the office space?
No, sir. I think hospitality has to be given, not demanded. And even for the cluster meeting budget itself is only for holding cluster meetings, because people say reimburse us for the coffee tea. Your point is well taken. Please, all of you listen to it and tell us.
Let me add a point. I think there is a necessity to demand to the government that there has to be some RWA Bhavan or something like that, which is an infrastructure which is accorded to groups like us, right? Including today we spend.
You come here.
Yeah. So we should demand, right? So at least my personal idea, and I've been evangelizing that with my colleagues, is that we should ask the government that you create an infrastructure, call it RWA Bhavan or something like that. It should have an auditorium, it should have some office spaces, etc. Because today, why are we meeting in the hall of a Century Club, right? If there's a space there which we can, it'll actually build more engagement as well, basically. So I think this provision of office space has been done notionally and nominally because there's a small team which will build in and come in, and today we are feeling that more and more the notion of the team being spread out. We have some field staff, they are going around, but as more people come, they need space, right? So that's this thing. But having said that, if we are able to get somebody to provide it for free, if it's government or somebody else, and if you know people or partners or somebody who will give infrastructure, we will happily accept it, sir.
In fact, I'll tell you, in Jayanagar 5th block, there is one building called 5th block RWA center. I've never seen it open, but it's a nice building which is there. In fact, I was talking to one another person. I said we should have a BAF meeting in this place. Sorry.
My suggestion is you demand the site or building from the government. That should be our approach. And follow it up.
Yeah.
Expenses, why it is not provided?
Which one?
Travel and conveyance, why it is not provided?
I felt that if people ask, we will do. I put other expenses 1 lakh.
Okay.
That will cover all these sundry things, because still people who claim conveyance is not much.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Very briefly, we have one case which we are filing in Supreme Court.
Okay.
For the KSPCB on the various cases, and that per appearance is fairly high, 25 to 75,000 rupees per.
It's purely court cases.
No, plus a couple of high court cases.
Legal
are
opinions
also there.
and all, right? For the legal opinions. Okay.
It's all relating to the apartments clusters. It's got nothing to do with the BAF versus somebody else.
Okay, now it's better. Thank you.
So there is one Supreme Court appeal, which is a public interest appeal against an NGT order. That's the live case. The legal costs are. So this will continue over a period of time. No, As I think some of the teams and myself also have alluded to in the presentation, there is one critical issue on the environmental policy related, right, where our legal battle continues. We had gone to the NGT, we have now gone to the doors of the Supreme Court. That is in the interest of a lot of members commonly who are affected by that. This legal fee is provisioning towards that effort basically. So we have a advocate on record who's representing us basically. Sure, sure. Sure, sure. No, I think
we'll do that. For example, in GST, whenever people have asked us, we have shared the opinions, and because we cannot put it in the website for copyright issues, but whoever has given the opinion has told us that you can share it with the member association. We do that. That's
rest assured that the communication will happen. I mean,
that will
in
always
few
be
weeks'
there.
time, I think that appeal will be
Similarly,
filed.
this legal will be a significant part of our expenditure going forward also, because anything which is like a class action, we represent the body of apartments in Bangalore. There will always be some issue or other where we will be fighting. So there will be, this is a minimum fees. Not? Sir, the apartment associations I have seen, emails, only 20% of the people open the emails.
Sir, okay, let me,
We'll do that.
Sir, okay.
No, we do lot of this in the, most of these are communicated through the WhatsApp forums.
So, for example, sir, when the KSPCB issue happened, how many ever number of apartments that have been served notice? Team of Harish, Dheeraj have made an outreach or posted messages in WhatsApp groups, and a separate WhatsApp group is formed, for example, for KSPCB petitioners. And there's been a regular communication or whatever the information was given to them on when the case was filed, or whenever they wanted to reach out, they called Harish or Dheeraj. Whoever were the affected parties in that case were being updated in that case. Yeah? Yeah.
The portal it is there.
Sorry, let me make a comment. See, today, I think our approach has been what is the best effort multimodal way where we can reach members basically, right? Now, as Sundar said, we have noticed that email open rates is abysmal, basically. No, sir, you have to hear me out. You have to hear me out. 1 second. Can I complete my point? So today, I think the effort and what is going on in terms of communicating to members is also following the principle of where there is maximum efficiency of impact in some sense. You please also have to consider the fact that the time of people who are doing this is also in some sense constrained, right? I mean, towards whatever. So I think the approach has been what is the most efficient way to make sure that the communication reaches. But having said that, point well taken that, the email communication becomes the formal baseline, and hence if there are critical communications which all have to go on email, no harm will. Yeah. Yeah.
Legal opinion is just sent by email.
No. Legal opinions are not, it's being shared with email, but only to people who call or who message asking for something. Yes. If I say that I want to broadcast, then the cost is something, it will be run into lakhs. No. The lawyer will charge you for a public dissemination of his opinion, fees in lakhs. No. That is public. Whereas if I send one-to-one, they have permitted me to share it. It's an intellectual property issue. And this is specifically from one of the top indirect taxation firms in Bangalore. They have told us this. Okay.
On this particular issue.
Yeah. So as far as the legal part is concerned, as an advice, we have not taken any we have spent money on the advisors actually. We have spent money on the litigations. So be it the BWSSB case where all the apartments are affected, categorizing apartment as a bulk user, and again the NGT matter, right, Bellandur Lake issue. We have NGT twice as a participant in the litigation and also as a review. Huh. Definitely. So that's what I'm telling. There is no only the cost actually only for the litigation. There is no advice aspect is not there. Of course, I admitted that there is a communication gap. I admitted when I spoke also, but that need to be improved. Of course, that need to be improved because we concentrated on yeah. Yeah. Well taken, sir. Well taken. Well taken.
Okay.
Actually, well taken. That is a very thoughtful advice and well taken. Thank you.
Last question on financials.
I am Puttaswamy Gowda, President of Mantri Greece. The budget of BAF is a meager budget of 35 lakh rupees, and dwelling on the subject for a long time is of no meaning. BAF should have its own office. With the help of the government, we should have our office because ours is a 17% of our voting capacity in the Bangalore city. We are not a small force. We are a formidable force. We have to utilize our force with the state government to see that they should give a proper place to us. We have to function in the interest of the community. Thank you, sir.
Right. Yes, please.
Yeah. My concern is about the numbers, projected members. Arun said that we have got about 1250 members. Your number shows about 837 active members, which is likely to go up to 962. That means there are almost 300 member associations who are not on your active list. My concern is, A, are you putting resources in helping them out even though they are not members? Which I think is not fair to the members who are paying. They could continue to have their membership numbers, and you must have a system whereby you can tell them, I'm sorry, I can't respond to you because you're not a member. Thank you.
We have not come to that stage yet. They don't take a register.
Yeah. So, Kesari Prasad sir, yeah, I think you're right. And time and again in the previous presentations also, we have hinted towards the aspect around churn and there being a portion of people who don't continue for various reasons, right? There are a couple of reasons for that. One is that some of them are genuinely not interested because a lot of times issues and expectations tends to be very specific, which for all practical purposes, BAF will not be able to address that in that specificity basically, right? Because today the issues are much broader and we can't go to saying that this one apartment. So a lot of times people express disgruntlement to say that, hey, my issue was not heard, so I didn't get resolution, so I'm not getting. So that's one part. We can work more and more on how to help them. Second is, there are process issues, right? One of the biggest stumbling blocks today is that the ability to get the updated contacts, right, or the membership profile when the management committee changes is very significantly troublesome. Let me put it that way, because people who are leaving from that committee are not incentivized or interested to communicate that somebody has changed, although a lot of people do that. And so we have to every year do a exercise of trying to reach out to the older ones, get them to then help find out, etc. This year, I think one validation exercise was hugely successful in making sure that it is up to date. I think there are learnings from that. But having said that, the policy, right, where GC had also taken a resolution and passed that if more than 2 years somebody has not renewed, they will be moved to the inactive set. They will remain probably in the background because at some point of time, if they come back and they want to, lot of times that has happened, that committees have changed, some new committee has come and said, hey, you know what, we now want to rejoin back because it is, we need to be part of this community. So 2 years and back are all will pretty much be, I'm not saying culled out, but put into the inactive list, so they will not be part of any communication, etc. and all that. The 2 years is still a hold period that we say that, if there is effort that can be involved to get them to catch up and continue with the resources. So to that extent, yes, some bit of resources are commonly applied. 2 years and above, they go into, so today the concept of BAF membership is also very fungible, right? It's just, what does membership mean? Few people are there in the WhatsApp group, they have access to portal, etc. A lot of times people also think that, if I'm not member also, it's okay. Most of the work which is BAF is doing, anyway I'll get benefit basic, right? That also happens. I think the pragmatic approach is somewhere between being very brutal versus being very, top line numbers oriented, if I were to put it that way. So 2 years is what we think is the good time to continue trying to engage them and continue the relationship. Beyond 2 years, they're there. When they come back, they can always catch up back accordingly. Hope I have answered your question.
Now I move to the next slide.
I want to say one point related to the budget. What this is any source of other income which can be possible.
That is all the sponsorship incomes are 10 lakhs.
Okay, 10 lakhs you are telling for the budget we are going
to. Yeah,
have
but the 10 lakhs will substantially be spent. It is not going to our pocket. Please remember that also.
No, I am telling that the source of income we are just saying only for the membership. Or is there any other possibility of having income on the society for the...
Only sponsorship income, which we are budgeting.
No, sponsorship in terms of the... Who is... Yeah. There is a source which I am speaking group. Somebody asks for something, okay, who is the solar panel supplier or who is the system maintenance guy and things like that. It is just the WhatsApp and somebody is giving information. But this is a source of income which can go to the BAF. Whether that is planned or worked or your source of income can be made.
See, the effort required is more. We only look at sponsorship income. Anyway. We are not charging them. Right. Can I go on to the next?
What's the effective date? Please go ahead.
Okay. Our membership from the time BAF was started has rates which are there in the slide, which is 500, 1,200, multiples of 1,200, it's moving on. And above 1,500 units, it is a flat 6,000 rupees. Now we believe that time has come to do some inflation adjustment and have a small increase. So overall we are proposing an increase which is 12%. But the bottom line of 20 units we have not touched. And for that 20 to 49, which is the lowest rung, we still have quite a number of apartments from that population. We have proposed 100 rupees increase, just a nominal fee. And then the balance, we have proposed some increase, 400 to 500 rupees per year. And it goes on increasing. Then we have introduced a new slab above 1,500. And the fees is 8,500. I want the approval of the... This will be for the renewal of 24-25, and if it is approved here, it will be effective from either November 1st for the new members or December 1st as we decide. Because we are on October 29th, I would say it will be from December 1st. For new members. Okay. Now, I have one small request to this. Sorry, this is all with GST. The GST included, this is what the member pays for whatever it is. Okay. Then the second is, the GC had, various members have some minor adjustments to be made to this. So we want the resolution to approve this will also include a clause that subject to minor modifications. Like someone is saying, why are you charging this 100 rupees? Leave that. Because the amount is, total amount itself is not significant. So if that is the view, we may say no. Like that, we'll do some minor modification. Okay, thank you for this. Yes, sir.
Now, there has been an enormous change in the nature of
Okay, statutory business, we'll finish this, and I'll take your question in the question answer session, if it is there, if time is available. So the first is the auditor Manohar Chowdhury Associates. We request that it be approved and continued for one more year. When we can afford a higher fee, we will change.
Do you think you should change if someone is not giving you a certified previous year's figures, etc.? It's a blatant violation. I think you need a better person. I don't mind paying more. I agree with you fully. Yeah, that's not fair. I don't think it's fair. Please record this and send it back to them, and if you want, I'll put my membership number of the institute.
Not. I have given enough mouthful from my side. I take your point. We'll come back to it. I will assume that this is pending. Okay. Okay, with this, finance presentation is concluded.
Check. No, just as a clarification to that, Ramesh, is it fair to propose that, in the next financial year, I mean, a change, because it's been a while.
You can ask him to resign and appoint another person. Right? Let's not continue with this. And if you appreciate shabbiness, I have nothing to say. That's your choice.
Yeah, we have never seen accounts without previous year figures, honestly.
Okay, yeah, okay. If that is the case, then we will probably put it to change to somebody else's.
Please,
yeah, okay, because it's also been some time, and it's I think, acceptable. I mean, you're all experts, chartered accountants. Maybe 5 years is a good time to also change. I think that's also the corporate practice which is involved.
This has nothing to do with...
No.
This has to do with shabbiness.
Unprofessional conduct.
Competence.
Sure. So I think we'll then take it as a suggestion to change anyway, basically. The rest of the it's done.
I'll just move the resolutions. The first one is resolved that the members of the BAF unanimously approve and adopt the audited report of the accounts for March 23. Approved. Second is the members approve without any change the budget. Then members,
They are different resolutions, can't be same resolution. When you say further resolved, it is part of the same. In fact, they are independent resolutions.
Agree.
Yeah.
The next resolution is the approval of the new membership structure with minor modifications as approved by the governing council. Okay, that edit will be done. The next one is not accepted, so I'm not reading that out. The last
we
one.
empower you to appoint someone against a casual vacancy. Please record that the AGM. We authorize you to appoint a new chartered accountant.
Agreed.
And one suggestion, just say what is the AGM number. We say 10th AGM, 12th AGM. Otherwise, we lose the count actually. Just take the number.
Because we are losing our chairman also.
No.
So he mentioned in his speech 9. So I knew it was 9.
No, the number is there in the notice.
But nowhere else is appearing actually. We can't make out.
It is only in his speech. Speech, Mr. Nagaraj Rao said 9.
And the last one is a housekeeping resolution that the governing council is authorized to file AGM minutes and other documents for KSRA registration renewal and other matters. Okay. Thank you very much.
This budget is much less than some of the apartments RWS budget. Why should you bother so much, You have better budget. In fact, this is equal to my 78 apartment budget. So we are discussing so much about it. Anyway, thanks for the patience. Now let us close it with a joke again. With a joke again?
Yeah.
Okay. Kindly listen. Don't take it amiss. There are two things in finance, assets and liabilities. Is it not? We have assets and liabilities. Three friends were talking to each other. He was expressing all the three drunk. You were telling, one person was telling, assets and liabilities are the two factors of the accounts. The liability is my drunken friend. Asset is my drunken girlfriend. Thank you. Let us go further. Please go further.
Very quickly.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. This is Sridhar from Electronic City chapter. Since we are improving year after year, and one infrastructure also going to, resource also going to appoint it, and we have enough talent also. Everybody is not accessing the internet and the applications. We request you to prepare one booklet or guidance, okay, for any new apartment to refer A to Z of the RWA management. As of now, currently there is no books reference for the RWA's management or websites ready reckoner. They are not aware about this BAF also. Whether the small, mid, premium class apartments also require this type of ready reckoner. It's a small suggestion for me.
No, I think in the mid break, some members also mentioned, Sridhar, some bit of effort is going on over there to compile that. Lot of knowledge is there already. I think we have to compile it in a manner which can become much more easier and accessible also for newer owners. Good, well taken. Sir, no sir, I'll tell you, okay, let's not go down that path because what constitutes value and what constitutes of revenue is very varied and diverse in our ecosystem, sir. People don't, ask 100 questions when there is a 1,200 rupee membership renewal question asked. So, yeah, I think where there is value, we will do that in terms of assigning to that. Correct, sure. Okay. Yeah. So I think we'll move quickly to the next topic. Very quickly, sir. Very quickly.
The third point about the new membership fee structure, going by the resolution is effective from 1st April 23, but he confirmed this is going to be from November or December. No, this says from 23-24, so it's applicable effective from 1st April.
No. So
this is different from what he said.
No.
He said it's a mistake.
Can I clarify on that? We will rephrase that accordingly because for new members, after this AGM, the applicability of that new membership fee structure will get applicable in reasonable future. December or whatever, which still happens to be in FY 23-24. For all the existing members for whom the renewal will become applicable for next financial year, it will become applicable from that. We will change the wording according to. Sure. No, absolutely.
Sir, all this will be very fine.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Next agenda.
Yeah. So we'll quickly move to the next agenda, which is the elections to the Governing and Executive Council for the term years 23-25. My request is, because of paucity of time, we will move two things parallelly together. One is, of course, we can continue the open discussion and questions, etc. There are, I'm sure, some things which will happen because the process of elections will require some time and there's a physical process involved. I will request Dheeraj from the legal and statutory team to take over and sort of introduce the team and the process for that. But having said that, once that is initiated, can we also have any other questions, etc., and pending queries? Because that's also, I think, important to have conversations and discussions on critical matters of member interest. There are two member inputs which have come because there was a communication which said that any things to be taken up with the permission of the chair has to be notified earlier. So we will take that as well in parallel, but I'll request Dheeraj to then take through the next proceedings.
Hi. So thank you, Vikram. So we'll move to the next agenda item, that is elections for Governing and Executive Council for 2023-25 tenure. So to initiate and begin, I would like to call upon our returning officer, Meena Kumari. Next slide. So as a brief warm welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
So I'll just brief about K.R. Meena Kumari. She is returning officer for this election. And she's a practicing advocate and a trained mediator. She graduated in law from Bangalore. She has put about 41 years of legal practice in various fields of law, such as civil, criminal, family, consumer property, and real estate. And practiced both on the trial and appellate side of various courts and tribunals of, she's a prominent lawyer, represented Karnataka government as government pleader in few instances. So Meena Kumari ma'am got trained in mediation as early as 2007 and has assisted several dispute parties to resolve their conflict amicably in hundreds of cases in Bangalore Mediation Center. So she is a panel of mediator for District Consumer Forum, National and State Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission, Company Law Board and Company Law Board, South East Division. Her passion outside her profession is music, gardening, flower arrangement, spiritual reading, and creating awareness on mediation among the society. So she will be presiding the formality going forward. So in order to begin, I would request you can sit and speak. Maybe we'll have to felicitate her for. So I'll allow ma'am to come on stage and President sir to facilitate.
Please. No, all been done by.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'll come there. Please come.
Thank you very much for taking this responsibility, ma'am. And you have been working for last 2 weeks. So Shanta ma'am, I mean, she doesn't need much of the introduction, but yeah, she's been, supporting. She's been part of camp, and we have signed a MOU with them last year, and there is a collaboration going on. You want to say something? Maybe a few minutes, yeah.
Just a few seconds. I am Shanta Chalappa. I am Shanta Chalappa, Director at CAMP Arbitration and Mediation Private Limited. You would be wondering what we are doing. We are peacemakers. We are a service provider for mediation. So what is mediation? Mediation is a process which is an alternative dispute resolution to litigation. I'm not saying that litigation is not enough. I mean, litigation should be avoided. If possible, it's avoided. Litigation should be used for cases where the judicial mind is needed to be taken care of. But as far as mediation is concerned, it's a collaborative negotiation. We help as mediators, we are neutral persons. We help the parties to negotiate by themselves and self-determine the outcome. They remain the judges of their own conflict. So that is what we are doing it. The Mediation Act has been passed very recently, and it has already got the President's assent, and few sections have been notified to form the Mediation Council. In no time they will be, all the sections will be notified, and we look forward to the community to resolve their conflicts through collaborative negotiation and make peace. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Good afternoon, everybody. Since the time shortage, I'll just take you all quickly to the names of the contestants and the process of the election. This is a Bangalore Apartment Federation will have elections biannually, as you all know. And this is election being held for the year 2023 and 2025. Now, these elections will be held for the Governing Council and for the Executive Council. You know? Okay, thank you. So, So governing council posts, you all know that you have the president, vice president, joint secretary, treasurer, and the governing council members, 16 members. And we have in executive council, we have the cluster president and cluster secretary. Now the process goes like this. In the first stage, we have the one person from the apartment can vote for the elections, and that person should have the personal ID, and then you should have a authorized letter from the apartment, and his name should be in the eligible list. And second stage will be, we are issuing the ballot papers, and you have to, ballot paper is like this. I know you will not be able to see properly, but still, I am just making an attempt to make you all understand what the ballot paper looks like. And we have the 3 blocks names here, and 3 blocks here, and you have to tick a mark against the corresponding names, whomsoever you want to vote. Then after casting a vote, we are providing the 2 markers there. You have to use those markers only. You have to tick it in the blocks, and if you tick it in the 2 blocks, it will become invalid. So then after ticking the mark, you have to sign there. There is a list, and the paper kept there. You have to sign your mention an apartment name, and you have to put your signature. Now, this is the process, and the election starts from after this, immediately after this thing. I am going to announce elections timings, and now I will call out the candidates for the post contested. I'll call out for the names of the contestants, the candidates for the governing council. I request all the members, candidates to come forward so that they can stand over here. This is for the governing council. Vikram Roy.
Vikram.
Is that Vikram Roy? Yeah, please come over here so that let the members know you. Satish Malya. Raghuram. Okay. Vikram Roy for president post. Satish Malya for the vice president. Raghuram for vice president. Vishnu Guttapalli Puttaswamy Gowda for vice president. Vishnu Guttapalli for general secretary. Jamir Nadav for joint secretary. Jamir Nadav, okay. Sundarajan for treasurer. And for committee members, Ajay Malhotra must be. Okay. Uma Mani. Dheeraj Gupta, Kiran Hebar, Upendra Singh, Chandrasekhar Krishnappa, Vinay T, Pradeep Pai, Sri Vidya Murali, okay. Arun Kumar, Mahadev Murthy, Hemant Pai, Lakshman, S. Lakshman, Valli Srinivasan, and Pawan Bharadwaj. And now I call out for the governing council members, yeah. And now I call out for the executive council candidates. Shall I? Okay. Huh? Help.
Please come on. People should know, so that's the reason we are calling them on the stage.
And executive council, Anand SK, cluster president, Tulsi Ram, cluster president, Kamesh Rastogi, cluster president, Mahadev Murthy, cluster president, Anup Cheran, cluster president, R.M. Raman, cluster president, Sunil Thomas, cluster president. And for secretary post, Ramesh Padmanabhan, K. Subramani, Rajesh Agrawal, Soumya Alex. Not come? Huh?
Governing council, there was Mohan names. You didn't call that.
One second. And then Soumya Ashish Gupta and Kameshwar Rao. His candidate and his nomination invalid. It has been not valid because The proposal form is not signed by the authorized signatory. So he has been invalid. Which was his name? Okay. I'm sorry. I stand correct. This Mohan Kumar, I left out the name. Mohan Kumar? For the governing council member. Okay. Now, these are the candidates, and for all the posts, there is no the posts for the secretary, president, secretary, and the joint secretary, and the treasurer post is not contested. And for the governing council also not contested. So even the executive council also, all the secretary and president posts have not been contested. The only contest is being held for the vice president post. There are 3 candidates, Satish Malya, Raghuram, and Puttaswamy Gowda.
Before proceeding further, I have got one query.
One second, I just finish up. So,
No, before announcing the result, you have to address.
sir, address matters, sir. I'm not understanding. So now I request all the candidates to leave the stage, and I request only vice president candidates, 3 candidates, to be on the stage, and they can introduce themselves. Puttaswamy Gowda, Raghuram, and Satish Malya. Inside,
What I'm asking is, this is earlier bylaws had provided for 3 vice presidents. August 2023, there was a special AGM when the president, vice president post.
One day post contest ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು.
Whether that AGM, special AGM proceeds have been approved by the registrar of properties or not, I have to see. If it is not, it's not valid.
Okay, I'll tell you.
That has to be clarified.
Okay.
If it is done, then
So you can introduce yourself. Puttaswamy Gowda.
I am Puttaswamy Gowda, President of Mantri Greens. I am very keen to serve in BAF. We know before elections how BAF worked in the community, how the political parties approached us, how they wanted to take benefit out of us. We have been put into a lot of hardship, lot of pending issues are before the government. We are paying taxes to the government, but government in turn increasing the rates, putting us into a lot of inconveniences, giving nothing to us. This is unfair on the part of the government. We have to tackle the subject in a very effective and very, very solid manner to see that results are given to us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Mr. K.S. Raghuram.
Hello, I am K.S. Raghuram, President of Shobha Clovelly Apartment Owners Association. I am a practicing advocate, and I have been seeing this happening in the apartments. Apartment office bearers are in a great risk of being penalized or charged with criminal offences if anything happens in the apartment. There is no protection for the office bearers. The Karnataka Apartment Act is a toothless act. Nobody has made an effort to amend it or bring it suitable resolution to it provides sufficient opportunity for the office bearers and protection to them. If anything happens, if electric shock happens, if somebody dies in the apartment, we will be taken into jail. We have to struggle before all those things. There should be a proper representation from the BAF to the government to strengthen the Karnataka Apartments Act. That is the vision which I want to work. And if you Google it, you find that there are 75,000 apartments in Bangalore. And unofficial figure is 1 lakh. If you take around 20 units in one apartment, it is around 75 lakhs people living in apartments. We are a very good number. The BIF should make an effort to reach out everyone. The problem why they are not becoming members is the office bearers doesn't have time to do it. They have to follow their personal life. They have to take care of the apartment activities. Instead, BIF should go to door and get the apartments registered as an association. There are thousands of associations which are not registered. There are no associations in many apartments. We have to work that so that we create a team and go to them and get them become apartment members. Then our numbers will increase. Then the government will listen to us. You need not ask for a space. They will come and give it to you. You start, you show your number, the government will come to you. Nothing to worry. So in that regard, I want to work in the BAF, so I have contested for the election. Please do vote for me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Raghuram. Satish Malya.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Satish Malya from Century Saras, Yelanka. In the last term, I was joint secretary. I was handling most of the government departments like BESCOM, BWSSB, Pollution Control Board, or BBMP. I think some of the major achievement for me is I started in 2021 as a first-time GC member. I think we have built relationship last 2 years with all this government. I think it's a matter of time now. Government also has changed. I think it's a matter of time we make big strive in this sector. And if you see now, I don't think any pollution control board notice has come last 1.5 years. I think that is a relationship we built. We tell them what is our problem. We educated them saying that what are the STP issue. And now we collaborated with them saying that we should trade this excess treated water for our own use and make some, monetize something for our apartment. So I request all of you, I'm contesting for Vice President. I request all of you to vote for me and support me for this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Satish Malya. Friends, now you have to vote only for this Vice President post. All the other posts have been not gone unopposed. And now the election starts, since you have, run short of time, the election starts from 1:15 to extended up to 2:15. Earlier we declared at 12 o'clock. Since of the, it got extended, we are starting elections from 1:15. It goes up to 2:15. Okay, and then so this is the process. Now I thank the BAF for appointing me as a returning officer and giving opportunity and the trust they repose in me. I do my best. Definitely, I'll do it. I'll be impartial. Thank you very much.
So requesting everyone to queue up and report to validation desk. So whoever is voting, they only need to report there, validate themselves and start the process.
Swami Gowda was represented by, whom? What is his name? Arun Gautam. Yeah. Arun Gautam. Gautam Kamath. And Satish Mallya was represented by Lakshman. And Raghuram was represented by Ramesh Kumar Sharma. Representatives. Now, Mr. Putswami Gowda has secured 4 votes, and K.S. Raghuram has secured 14 votes, and Satish Mallya has secured 55 votes, and he has come out with flying colors. He has been declared as Vice President of the BFA. Thank you. Now I'll read out for the General Governing Council candidates who have been elected unanimously. Vikram Roy, President for the Governing Council. Vishnu Guttapalli, General Secretary. Jamir Nadaf, Joint Secretary. What is this? Sundarajan, Treasurer. And now the council members goes like this. Umamani, member. Dheeraj Gupta, member. Kiran Hebbar, member. Upendra Singh, member. Mohan Kumar, member. Chandrasekhar Krishnappa, member. Vinay T, member. Pradeep Pai, member. Ajay Mehrotra, member. Sri Vidya Murali, member. Arun Kumar, member. Mahadev Murthy, HM, member. Mamta Pai, member. Professor S. Pai, correct, no? Hemant Pai, member. Professor S. Lakshman, member. Valli Srinivasan, member. Pavan Bharadwaj, member.
That's governing council.
And that's the governing council. And now I write out the elected members for the executive council. Anumol SK. Anand SK for the cluster president. Banshankari. Ramesh Padmanabh, cluster secretary. Banshankari. Tulsi Ram, cluster president. Baswanagar. K. Subramani, cluster secretary. Baswanagar. Rajesh Agrawal, cluster secretary. JP Nagar. Soumya Alex, cluster secretary. Bannagata Road. Ashish Gupta, cluster secretary. MSR, HSR layout. Kamesh Rastogi, cluster president. HSR layout. Madhu, what is Mahendra Murthy? What is Mahendra Murthy, correct? Mahadev Murthy.
Cluster President, Kengiri.
Mahadev Murthy, HM, cluster president. Kengeri, Punya. Anup Chiran, cluster president. Whitefield. And Whitefield 1. RM Rahman. What is this? Rahman, cluster president. Electronic City. Sunil Thomas, cluster president. Kyarpuram. So these are the elected members for the year 2023-25. Thank you very much for all the cooperation, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
One small token of appreciation for being the returning officer.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
So this is the stand. I'll put it in the cover.
Put it in the cover. So thank you very much, ma'am, and the rest of the team who worked with you.
I also thank all the team who supported me and cooperated with me to have this election successful. Anything else? Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So with this, thanks a lot for everyone's patience, enthusiasm, and showing a great teamwork, a camaraderie among all of us. First, my first thanks to all the people who have come all the way and stayed all along. And special thanks to have a contest and a fitting election between Mr. Satish Mallya, Raghuram and Puttaswamy Gowda. It was an exciting thing for all of us to go through. And with that, I would thank the entire GC team and all the cluster leadership and everyone for their leadership and stewardship. And to mention some of the outgoing members, we profusely thank Mr. Nagaraj Rao sir, our president, and big round of applause Yes, sir, if you come over onto the stage, we have a small token of gift from our side, please. Or I can come. Okay, we can give it here also. Hosa President, Elidarappa. Vikram Rai. Hosa President. All of us can take a picture also, please. Please join. Vikram Ilban. Ilbani, sir. Sir, photograph. Ali. On behalf of the entire BAF team, we really thank our fatherly figure, Mr. Nagaraj Rao, sir.
I didn't do that till now because wanted the process to be over. I think I personally wanted to thank Nagaraj Rao, sir. I mean, I can tell you that, there are so many questions which is tough to emulate. I don't even know how we will do that. Some of them are things like, if there's a meeting and its time is X, then X minus 15, 20 minutes being present there. Being present in a very presentable manner. When we go to a government meeting, a lot of times I think the, what you call that ghanate that you call it, right? The respectability of a team getting that credibility starts with him always, right? When we go inside, we know that, we are entering the room with, with a heavyweight over there, so everybody then respects. I think those are all things which we can't, we can only imagine how we can emulate. So, sir, he's been a great mentor, guide, and most importantly, a friend, right? Let me put it that way. For all of us who we have a huge age gap, but I think that has never come in the way of him being a close friend, right? Excellent friend. We have, we will, miss that regular chit chat, banter, GC meeting, right? Everything. I always joke him saying that we have excessively used his access of Century Club also for all BAF meeting. This was the secretariat over here, GC meetings happening. So thank you very much, sir. I think you have done a lot for a lot of us, not just BAF, but individually a lot of us have grown a lot under your mentoring, under your guidance. Some bit of you we are carrying with us. Like I said, your relievement, there is no superannuation over here, sir. So we hope to have you constantly with us in different capacities to guide the organization forward. So whatever format or name you call it, right? But we will, yeah. So thank you so much. You have to open that and yes, maybe. Yeah. You can continue.
No, we don't want that. That didn't work.
That didn't work, yeah.
At least name should be different.
It indicates the poise and balance with which he can manage on one foot as well, right? So that's what it is, that is the indication. But thank you very much, sir. I mean, you've been very kind with your time, effort, everything to us. So little that we can do for you. So once again, thank you very much. One quick, I'll have to mention you also, please come here, right? Right? Yeah. I think I'll be forgetting in my duty if I don't mention Harish also over here, because some of the most important heavy lifting work on the legal front to see, we had to always, this is a tricky issue, the legal side is a tricky issue. Of course, we have to develop a thought leadership over there, right? Because people have interpretations, logic, this way, that way you have to do. But to develop a stand and to put a thought leadership to say that we know this subject, we know this matter, and we can inform opinion on this matter was very important. That had not happened. I think credit to Harish that, I mean, there are a lot of times I've gone to government meetings where people have asked the question saying that you were a lawyer, right? So, which reflects upon this thing. But I think, I mean, thank you, Harish. Learned a lot from you. I've seldom seen people having a work ethic like you have had in driving things professionally, clinically, and methodically.
little bit of learning as that we carry. That's what, right? At the end of the day, as much as possible, at least personally, I try and imbibe and see that, you know what, always will be in the back of the mind saying that if I'm discussing with Harish, what will be the structure of the discussion, right? You have to be prepared for it, right? So I am always a little extra prepared when discussing with you. So, but that's the work ethic he has brought to that governing council. Thank you so much. I think we also have, okay, small, no, please. Yeah, yeah. I think that's a good request out. Don't change your phone number or switch off your phone number because, yeah, some of us will be in soup basically.